What's one thing people don't know about being addicted to drugs?
What's one thing people... Sorry, I like to process these things. What's one thing people don't know about being addicted to drugs? I'd say it's more relatable to the average person than they think it is. And hear me out. Try to cut sugar out of your life. Seriously. For a lot of people, they watch too much porn. I'm not pointing at you for a reason because I don't know what you do. But I'm just like talking with my hands. Like, if you ever try to cut sugar out or really try to lose weight, a lot of people have tried to do that in their life. Or I'm going to go to the gym. I want to build muscle. I'm going to eat 200 grams of protein a day. I'm going to try and write down my goals and then, or even just keep a strict schedule. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to do this. And they can't even make it a week. People can't even make it a week. And I'm one of them, sometimes. So going back to drugs and alcohol is very similar. We all have little addictions like that. We all do things we don't want to do, or we all don't do the things we know we should. And drugs is just a very, very extreme example of that. But I think on like the primal level, that's basically what it is. Why do we keep eating trash when we say we want to lose weight? Do you want to lose weight? Yeah. You're fat? You don't like that you're fat? Yeah. Well, then why do you keep eating sugar? I don't know. Can you relate to that at all? Food?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe not food, but...
Oh, geez, because he's jacked. Okay, what can you relate to?
Definitely saying, I want to do this. When I get home, I'm going to do my laundry, and I don't do it. And
Yes.
I just don't. I know I should. I know I want to, but I know
you'd be better if you
I'd
did
be
it.
happier, better if I did, and I just don't do it.
Yeah, that's, just off the top of my head, that's what I would say. I mean, I could say things like people don't want to be addicted. I don't think you realize how sad a lot of these people are, but I can't speak for everyone, and I think that's obvious.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think there's more pity for drug addicts, or do you think there's more hatred?
In this world?
Yeah.
That's such a good question. Do I think there's more pity or more hatred? Probably pity at this point. I do think the world has sort of turned. Certainly, the healthcare system takes care of you. Like if I told you, this person I know is on drugs, you go, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas if I was like, yeah, my brother was, or my uncle was butt fucking his dog, you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm sorry. You'd be like, what a weirdo. That's how it was back in the day, though. Not sexual innuendo, but you get my point. Like, if I was like, oh, this person beat the bag out of their little brother, you're like, what a nutbag, right? When if I say, oh yeah, he's struggling with alcohol, you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, that sucks, right? That would be your reaction, right?
Oh yeah.
So I would say there is more pity at this point, although there's still a lot of stigma.
There is. If you live in California, they'll supply it for you though.
That's great, huh?
That's very nice
if you're
of them.
doing drugs.
Yeah.
What is it? The shoot dope stations? What do they call them?
I don't know. I know they
Safe
were sending
injection
out.
site.
Yeah, they were sending out crack pipes. I know
Really?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
They don't want you, using dirty needles, so they'll supply them.
Yeah, that's crazy. I get the attempt to do something, but typically those kind of states, they always kind of cater to the negative side of something rather than like focusing on changing the behavior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
how do you change someone's behavior like that? Like someone who's homeless, they don't have anything.
I think purpose, like finding a purpose in life, something that's worth sacrificing for, and then belief that you can achieve it. So like, what do I want to achieve? And then actually having belief you could do it. Like you're sitting here making these podcasts, even though it's difficult to get 100,000 subscribers too. But you know deep down it's possible if you stick with it. If we started training for the NFL, it'd be hard for you to give it your all because you don't believe you can do it. And if you did believe you could do it and you gave everything you had, you probably wouldn't make it, but you'd be way better than you think. Honestly, you would be destroying people because you're still, 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time you were 24, 25, you would be the best kid at the flag football down here. You might not make the NFL. There's physical limitations, but
Wonder why.
People would be shocked how good they can get at something with the right mindset and belief. So when you believe that, I think a lot of people believe they can stop doing drugs, but they don't believe that like life's really going to be better.
Yeah.
Life's going to suck because life is hard. It's expensive and credit card debt and I can't get a good job. And if you've been on drugs for a while and you have a criminal record. So it's just like hard to believe unless that's worth it, you know, but I think that's the best way to sort of change behavior, right? Like looking, if you talk about losing weight, because most people can relate, like looking sexy isn't enough. It's got to be sort of health or I want to be a person who's in shape. I want that to be who I am, not I want to be a guy with a six pack. You know what I mean? Like that's just not enough to put the work in.
Yeah. Yeah, you need more incentive.
From my experience.
Yeah. How do you give it to someone else, though? That's how you provide it for yourself. How do you give it to someone else?
I don't know that you can. Honestly. I don't know that you can. Believe in them. I thought about that all the time. How do you... Truth. I'd say truth is your best shot. Tell someone the truth. I love you. I'm always here for you. I don't support that behavior. If you're going to act like that, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. But if you are doing the right thing, I'm going to... Like, you can never go wrong with truth. You're fucking your life up. And what you're doing is stupid. And you are an asshole. I'm not saying that you're a bad guy, but what you're doing, right? Like doing drugs, you can't make excuses for these people, you know? And say, oh, it's okay because, you know, you're sick. It's like, yeah and no. The behavior still needs to be corrected. You got to fix it. Figure your shit out.
Yeah, overall, they're sick, but every time they do it, they're making that decision.
Absolutely. It's like when a 2-year-old throws a tantrum. They're not a bad person, but like the behavior needs to be corrected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can do as much as you can with a 2-year-old, but not a lot. Only so much you can do. I've experienced that too. There's only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until you just guide them to mature, but grown fucking people, what do you do?
Yeah. They know that they have the choice. At least with kids, like they know that you have power over them.
Yeah.
When you're grown up and you're on the streets, you know that, well, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
It's my choice.
100%. I'm just more of like a realist now, like nowadays. Now I just know not everything can be fixed. I can't fix other people. Shit's going to happen. Sometimes it sucks.
Yeah, you can influence people, but you can't change them.
No, shit's going to happen to us too.
What's rehab like day by day?
So there's different types of rehabs, but if you're in like a detox, where is typically the first step. So if you got high this morning and then you're like, hey, I want to go to treatment, they bring you to a detox center where usually you're there 3 days would probably be the minimum to 2 weeks, maybe a little more depending on what substance you're coming off of. Alcohol and benzodiazepines, so like Xanax, Ativan, which Jordan Peterson had some sort of benzo addiction. Did you know that?
Yeah. Wasn't it Ativan?
Yeah, because benzodiazepines are a central nervous system sort of like depressant, you know, or suppressant, whatever you want to call it. So it really fucks you up when you take it, you know, and which is funny because they prescribe them like Tic Tacs for people that can't sleep or they have anxiety. It's wild, but they're very, very difficult to come off of. But when you go into detox, it's not always a locked facility, but there's nurses, there'll be doctors who come in and check on you. They're coming in every hour or sometimes less to take your blood pressure, make sure you're alive. It's much more of like a caring, nurturing situation because you're hurting bad.
Yeah, like help. This guy's going to die.
It could be, or on opiates, you're not going to die, but you feel like you're going to die. Or if you're coming off meth, you might not be sleeping, and you're in rough shape. So you need sort of 24/7 care. You know,
and that goes on for anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks ish.
Yeah, I've been there for 7 days. You know, depending on. Usually opiates are pretty, you know, like a drug like fentanyl has a short half-life. After a week, like you're struggling like mentally and stuff, but like the physical stuff is almost 100% gone after a week.
That's good. That's good news because then it's all. Well, is it all easier after that?
Nah, that's the easy part, I think, it's getting back and reinstating into your life and not falling back. But that's why they send people to a 30-day program. Right, which is more traditional. When someone says rehab, that's what they think of. So a 30-day program where you go and, you know, you got to get up in the morning, make your bed, you go to groups, you know, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. They take care of you. It's much less like medical staff, though. Usually you get some sort of case manager who works with you throughout the time, speaks with you every couple of days. Some you're allowed to have your phone, some you're not. Some there's a TV, some you have your own room, some you don't. It all sort of depends how good your insurance is now. But there is truth to that too. But that's when you think of rehab, it's tough. It's not tough, but it is when you're in like that frame of mind.
Well, you don't really have the choice, or do you have the choice to leave then?
You can always what they call AMA, which is against medical advice. Certain rehabs make it more difficult. I was at a place called Green Mountain where it was in the middle of Effingham, New Hampshire. And like you could bounce. They make it very hard. They won't give you your stuff, your phone's there. I think they'll call the police if you go, but like they can't bring you back. You're not a prisoner.
Oh, yeah.
But they try to deter you.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It's like those people are probably better off if you can force them to stay.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I wanted out one day. I was yelling at them. And they're like, well, where are you going to go, man? Like, if you jump over this fence and leave, like, you can. But, like, where are you going to go? We're in the middle of nowhere, blah, blah, blah. They're like, the Concord bus station's like 45 minutes away. But I was like, I remember I said to them, I was like, well, I'll just lay in the middle of the road until someone drives up and calls an ambulance. And then I'll get in the ambulance, get to the hospital, make a phone call, and get a ride. That's like how I was thinking. So they're like, oh, is that like a suicide threat? Like, they were doing their job to help me, but that pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
Because they knew what I wasn't saying that, but it's like, oh, he's saying he's going to lay in the middle of the road. And because you make any sort of suicidal comment, especially if it's legitimate, then you go to like probably a different place where they put you in a lock facility for 72 hours and you get a psych evaluation. And but again, a lot of that's just Google Gaga temper tantrum stuff that they're good at dealing with because they don't want you to leave. They know these kids can jump that fence and bounce or walk out that door and go die.
Yeah.
So at the time, you're frustrated. And everyone in there is a lawyer in their own mind, and knows their rights, but they don't know shit.
Yeah. You were on Joey Pantaleo's and Sala? That's his name?
Yeah.
You were on their show, and you were talking about the transition coming out of rehab for addicts, how it's really tough for them.
Sure.
A lot of times. Why is it that bad?
I think the transition is because you're going back to your regular life, right back to the same habits, routines. It'd be like going away for 30 days up in Ossipee, New Hampshire, where you're basically forced to wake up, on a certain schedule, and then they bring you to the gym, right? I like bringing it back to losing weight because it's easy. Everyone could go to a place where they wake up, they're fed good food, they lose, they're only fed 2,000 calories a day, they're forced to do groups and do this. And yeah, you could be a little bitch and like not do it at all, but you just kind of go through the motions. It becomes your routine, right? It's like a boot camp, sort of. And then they just toss you right back at home, and the Celtics are on, and you can just go get pizza. You know what I mean? So it's very, very difficult to change years' worth of bad habits in 30 days, 40 days. So that's why the transition back into reality, because then it's like the pressure of bills. And a lot of times you're coming out and you're facing damage you've caused. Your wife's fucking pissed. You haven't paid the car. While you're gone, the car gets repoed. Maybe you lost your job or you kept your job, but you had to go on FMLA and now your job knows. Like, what? He took some sort of medical leave. Like, what's going on? Maybe you tell your boss, hey, I got a drug problem. So now you got to kind of face like the carnage that you've caused while you were getting fucked up, and now you're not fucked up. And the credit card bills are piling up, and it's just like, whew, I screwed up. And now it's
Time
like,
to
what?
go back.
I've been gone 30 days. I'm just like back. It's not easy, which is why people go to sober living and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a sort
well,
of transition.
How can that be fixed? Is it by sober living, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's no end-all, be-all. Some people just go home and they grow up and they figure it out. Sober living can be good because you're still going to get drug tested. You get a community of people you're with. You're not alone. You're living in a place that's relatively affordable. You're not alone. They're making you go to AA meetings. So they're keeping that structure because that's what anyone who suffers from any kind of addiction, it's just lack of structure. Same if you're not doing your laundry when you should. If you're at a house where like they make you do your laundry at 5 o'clock, you're gonna do it. But when you're not made to do it, then things slip through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's different because the consequences of these decisions are significantly different, and substances are involved, but which changes your brain chemistry. But it's that simple, So in that can prolong, and you're working a job and you're living a normal life, and you start to save a little bit of money and maybe pay off some bills and meet some good people. You're not around scumbags, hopefully. You know what I mean? Maybe you can get a car back. Do those little things until you can sort of transition rather than just like leaving and it's back to, I got to save up $5,000 to get an apartment for $1,800 a month. And it's just not reality. The world's too expensive now.
World's too expensive, and it is hard to change habits, any type of habit, good or bad.
Yeah. So that's why these places exist.
Yeah. your brother has a drug problem or had a drug problem when you were younger?
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I mean, my brother abused drugs, 100%. But he more like struggled with like mental health, I would say. And the drugs were sort of, I don't know if it was the result of it. Maybe you could blame maybe a little bit of a catalyst of it. Drug-induced psychosis. He's great now. I mean, my brother's 35 years old. He graduated from UMass Lowell. He's got a girlfriend. He lives in a house. They got a dog. His life is good. But when he was young, so we're going way back. Like he got better long before I did. He's also 5 years older than me. But yeah, he abused substances for sure. We both did.
Do you think that him doing it was part of the reason that you might have slipped into it?
It definitely didn't help. I don't know if I'd say it was part of the reason. I feel like I still would have went down that path, but I think it accelerated it. Drugs became normal, a little more normal to me because I would see him doing it. Maybe.
Yeah, I get that. I have a friend and his brother OD'd and died. OD'd 5 times. Died on the 5th one.
Jesus.
But like, I can't see my friend ever touching drugs because of that. So I think it can go both ways. You get desensitized to it, or you're kind of traumatized from it.
There's truth to that, but honestly, the statistics show when there's people in the house that are abusing substances, you're actually more likely to.
Yeah.
Right? That's like
Isn't
being
that
like,
such
my
a weird
parents are
thing?
500 pounds, so I'm less likely to get fat. It's like, studies actually show the complete opposite because those habits are there.
Such an interesting thing.
You know? It also depends on the age. When your 19-year-old brother's getting fucked up and you're 15, it's different than like you're 26, you're already married with kids, and then your 19-year-old brother gets hooked on drugs. Right?
Yeah.
It's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah, plus when they're older, you look up to them almost inevitably.
Yeah.
It goes to show how important environment is.
Yeah.
Being around people that are positive for you. And
that's everything. That's
Yeah.
everything. Nobody gets corrupted. No kid gets corrupted on their own. It's always associated with people. Almost always. The group that they hang around with. What else would? If they come from a good family, what else would corrupt them other than the social structure that they're hanging around with? The rap music? Probably not. Doesn't help. But life is basically all about, you're like the 5 people you hang around most. It's one of those cringy sayings. It is so true. It's so true. I don't know if there's any truer personal development quote that exists than that. Look at who people are and look at who they hang out with. It's almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Does money buy happiness?
No, money definitely does not buy happiness. I think it helps, money can solve money issues, right? If you have a problem that can be fixed by money and you have money, you don't have a problem. But there's so many problems that can't be solved with it. Money can cause problems. And happiness is fleeting. Happiness is, you don't sleep for 24 straight hours and then you don't have to sleep for 3 days. Like you get happy, then you don't. It's like being hungry. Like, man, that meal was so good, I don't have to eat for a week. Oh, that check was so big, I'm just like happy now. It's going to come and go. Honestly, daily. Pretty much. Certainly weekly.
Do you think there's an overall measure of satisfaction or happiness, whatever you want to call it?
I would find it hard to believe that if you did a study, people who feel like their needs are met plus have an abundance are happier than poor people, 100%.
Well, yeah, I know that. There is studies, and you hear a lot, once you're past whatever, a certain number, whatever, I think it's 100,000 or 125,000 something. After that, you don't get happier. But I'm not sure I believe that.
I don't believe that. I agree with like the statement. I don't agree with the number.
What do you think the number would be?
20 million. Not a year in the bank. Once you can't, once you can take care of your friends, you can take care of people you want on a monthly basis. No, honestly, though, think about it, though. Like a guy making $1 million a year and a guy making $5 million a year can do a lot of different things in terms of giving back to this community. It does get to a certain point, but like the guy who has $20 million and the guy who has 50, it's not that much different. And the guy who has 200 compared to the guy who has 800, it's almost no different at all.
That's right.
The check number can get larger, but like you almost can't even help like more people. Unless it's just like, I want to give $50 to X amount of thousands of people. You know what I mean? Maybe I sound crazy by saying that, but to say 125,000, the guy that makes 200 is not more comfortable. It's like, have you seen the price of everything? Maybe that's out. Maybe the date is screwed up. Maybe you could say 300,000 to 500, but man, it's just not that much money now.
Yeah, that's what I was. It's hard. It's hard to process that because I know me, and I know if I was making $500,000 a year, I'd be much happier if I was making $1 million a year.
100%.
And possibly other people aren't like that, but I know I am.
Yeah, I mean, you can live very comfortably. You can. But I just think the difference between like $200,000 a year and $400 is more than just like, well, you're just going to have a bigger house and a nicer car. That's not true. That's a huge difference in private schools. That's a huge difference in, can you give back to your community? It's a huge difference in who else can you help if that's things that makes you happy. How much you can invest and set up for your kids' future. That is a massive, massive difference, People don't realize that because they think 200 is like this like insane amount of money. How many people out here in Boston make $150,000?
Yeah, it's just day
fucking
jobs.
Every guy that wants to live.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I know a lot of people make less than that. Making $150,000 a year, especially at a job, I've said this before, is you should be very proud of that. It's not easy to do. But as we talked about when I was on the phone with you, the math doesn't give a fuck that you were told $100,000 is a lot of money. No one said, like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you start doing the math, it doesn't really add up to a lot.
Yeah, what are you going to go into the store and they're going to be like, oh, you make 100,000, you're good. You done on yet? You're not going to run out. You're good. Yeah, you go to the bank, you're like, I'm low on money. I make 100,000. They're like, oh, you're good. We'll give you some.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, I worked at Home Depot. I worked with a lot of people that made under 100,000. I don't get it. They got 2 kids, and how do you live?
It's tough. I mean, you can make it work, right? Like, you can definitely make it work. I'm not saying you can't make it work, but it's difficult. And maybe I take back my previous statement. Maybe you could change that number to 5 million or 10. I just know once you hit like I've done the math on like if you got it sitting in a CD, once you get to that like $20 million range, which is insane. Most people never reach it. I don't know if I ever will. But once you get to that number, the only like other shit you can buy is like now you're at the point where like everything is just bigger and more baller. The cars are way more baller. The house is more baller. There's more houses. The jewelry's more baller. All the stuff is more baller. But like you really can't do anything. Like everybody's taken care of. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It's funny. A lot of the rich people that I listen to on the internet do what I do. They go out on the boat and they go wake surfing or whatever
100%.
they do. It's like, well, I mean, they might fly private and they might fly to Dubai and have a good time there. Do the same thing that I do here, over there. I feel like the only difference from whatever that number is, like 10 million to 20 million, is freedom. Freedom. You have the choice to, like, you really get to choose what you want to do.
Right.
Like you said on Joey Pants' podcast, like if you give someone $200,000 right now, you're still going to work tomorrow.
Of course.
You're still going. Even if you said $1 million. If I give you $1 million right now, would you go to work tomorrow?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Of course I would.
Yeah.
Why would I not? What would I do with it? Quit my job? You can buy a house. Okay, you have no mortgage. Great. Huge. I'd be pumped. I mean, don't get me wrong. Let's not like be delusional here. I would be over the moon excited. It's a huge head start. I got a check for over $1 million not that long ago. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't tell me that.
First check I ever got for over $1 million. $1,084,000. Now I own like about 50% of that company. I went to work after the refinance. I was at work 2 hours later. Honestly, it's not like, it is what it fucking is. It's sad, but it is awesome. But if you're sitting here and you're like really struggling with money, I mean, $100,000 can go a long way and it can take so much pressure off, but see how fast you can blow it.
Oh yeah, I can blow
$100,000 you can blow in 2 seconds, and I'm not talking Rolexes.
Buy yourself and your wife a new car,
right?
An average new car.
The average home price in America, including, we're not even talking about this area where the majority of your listeners, if not all of your listeners, are sitting.
Whoa.
And this, no, dude, I'm just saying, even if there's 10,000 people listening, like most people are in the Northeast who are listening to this podcast. So when I say the average home price nowadays is $400,000, it's really in your area $600,000. So $100,000 wouldn't even be 25% down on the average house in these average towns to then leave you with a $4,500 a month mortgage. You'd need another 100 to put down on the house that you won't be able to afford, which, by the way, is probably the fucking house you grew up in with middle-class parents who are like struggling to figure out how they're going to retire.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So don't tell me it's a ton of money, you know, because it is. Now, if I want it on a scratchy, fuck yeah, it's a ton of money to just like a win. You know what I mean? But it's all really, you go buy a pickup truck and it's gone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you win a mill, I don't know, 30 years ago, you're kind of set for a while.
Yeah. 10 million though, I'd be fucking done.
Yeah. You can just use, like, using money to make money. 10 mil is a lot of money to work with.
I don't have my phone, but 10 mil at, 4.3% is still a shitload of cash.
430,000. Oh, yeah, 430,000.
Yeah. Right?
Good amount of money.
That's pretty good. So, and that's like,
that's if you're
pure
doing
interest.
nothing else.
Right. So you can straight blow, 30, 40 grand a month.
Yeah.
And still have your 10 million. That's pretty good. But do you see how, like, having that amount of money, 35,000, right? If you want to donate this to that, now you get to 20 million, and now it's 80 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge difference. $80,000 a month plus you have the $20 million nut. You're making $80,000 a month in residual money off that. And you're not even talking about, like, let's put some in the stock market. Let's do that. If you take out the yachts, the jets, and that bullshit, what can anyone else do that you can't? Pretty much nothing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you think that everyone should reach for that goal?
No, I don't think everyone should. Doesn't make you any better. The more successful I've become, the less I give a shit about it. Honestly. I got little kids I got to get up in the middle of the night. I got kids I got to go to school. Nah. 2 years ago, I would have been like, of course. It's not for everyone. It's not possible for everyone. Just like, that's like someone who's worth 500 million looking at me and being like, why are you aiming at 20 million? Why don't you think big? It's like, oh, fuck you. That never ends. And the guy who's worth $1 billion can be like, why are you thinking so small, Conor McGregor? It's like, all right, there's just no end to that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It is a trap, But you got to have some sort of financial freedom.
Right. There's a quote. I think it was a Hormozi quote. Successful people it's not that they have something that you don't. It's that they don't have something that you have, which is an off switch. You're able to shut off. But like these high performers like Elon Musk, he doesn't have that. He can't. He just can't.
Yeah, well, that's what they genuinely like enjoy doing.
Sometimes.
It doesn't make them better than you. Doesn't make them worse than you.
I think there's a fine line between the amount of money that you want and your happiness. So I don't think, like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure Elon's happy, but is he satisfied? Probably not. But the guy who is working and making like 20 mil, he's probably very satisfied and very happy.
Sure.
And I mean, it all depends on the person, which is why it's tough to make these generalizations, but that's why we're trying to figure this stuff out.
There's the people that like if you're motivated and you want to work 24/7 and build businesses and do that, great. If you're a monk and you want to just like sit in a temple all day and money means nothing, great. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Because I think there is some truth to like people who are successful and they're driven that way will look down on people who don't work that hard.
Exactly.
And then there's people that sit there, and they hide behind that. They secretly want to work harder and achieve a little bit more in life, but they hide behind the fact that like, at least my kids see me all the time. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up too. Like your kids should see you all the time, but like, don't hide behind that. Like, let me tell you, I'd rather come home to, my dog and my 2 smiling kids 6 days a week than, be out with $1 billion. It's like, yeah, would you, dude? Maybe, maybe not. But like the billionaire shouldn't shit on that guy and you shouldn't shit on that guy because you don't know either.
Yeah. Yeah. Not knowing what people have gone through.
Yeah, I'm 300 pounds, but like better than living life without fried pickles. It's like, is it, fat fuck? I don't know. Maybe. And then the guy who's jacked, who's just like, I can't believe these people, it's like, dude, you're not cool. What, you never have a pizza on a Sunday? Congratulations. Good for you. Nobody fucking gives a fuck. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. But I think that's, the older I get, the more I'm sort of like in that middle, like, do what you want.
Yeah. What do you think about the people who say, oh, it must be nice. Must be nice to be successful and have a family.
I say it is, I say, I get it. Must be nice to not have cancer.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'd say. Must be nice to not be blind, says Stevie Wonder. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I get it. Everyone gets lucky. Shit happens. There's good luck, there's bad luck. I think you can sort of create your own luck, so to speak. But, when an 18-wheeler tire comes flying over the median and hits a minivan, whose fault is that? It's nobody's fault. Shit fucking happens. And it's awful. And that's where faith becomes powerful. Because if your loved one gets hit with that and you're sitting there like, I hope there's some sort of bigger plan because, like, what a bummer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
this shit
yeah.
fucking happens to people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even know where we're going anymore. I'm losing it here. But it's true, though. Like, you don't really know.
Well, I asked about must be nice.
Yeah,
people just
nice.
don't know what, like, people will say that about Elon Musk, like, must be nice at being the richest man in the world, but you don't know. You don't know. He said on Lex Friedman's podcast, like, my mind is a storm. Most people think they'd want to be me, but they really wouldn't.
I believe that. And everyone who's saying must be nice, there's someone who could say must be nice to them.
Right.
It never ends. So it's like this. It's like the money thing, right? There's always someone who's got it worse than you.
It's not. It doesn't even necessarily have to be that. You could say must be nice to me about something, and I could say it right back to you about something else.
100%.
So yeah, it is. It's endless. It's endless.
You could talk to someone. Yeah, like if you're saying must be nice to have all that money, and that same rich guy could be like, yeah, it must be nice to have grown up with parents. Must be nice to not been molested as a kid. Must be nice to have not lost your kid to drug overdose. Like, is this like the game we're gonna play?
Yeah.
But I do think the culture, like the red pill culture online, they ask for that. When they start telling people that, like Grant Cardone said, you know who he is?
Yeah.
I heard him say, if you make $400,000 a year, you should be ashamed as a father. It's like, bro, like, even if you make $100,000, you shouldn't be ashamed. If you make $50,000, you shouldn't be ashamed. I agree there's a math issue there, but like $400,000, you should be ashamed.
Yeah.
Come buy my fucking course. How about you get fucked? You know what I mean? Stuff like that pisses me off.
Right.
But that's why I think they invite a lot of that. Because there's money to be made selling to young, motivated, typically men, right? By like, look at the lifestyle. All your friends are bums and they're losers and they're... Go after what you want.
Yeah. All attention on the internet's good is what
Yes.
people go by. I don't even necessarily agree with that, but it's because I value how people view me over
all
how
attention's
many
good.
people.
Ask P. Diddy if all attention's good.
Right.
Bet you he'd have something to say about that right now.
Yeah.
So...
All right, we're going to go through a bunch of quotes that I found, mostly Alex Hormozi, some others, but I want your 2 cents on them. I want to hear some, your thoughts.
Sure.
They're amazing quotes. So the first one, people want to be exceptional without having to be different, but to be exceptional is by definition to be different. Don't compare your problems to people's whose lives you don't want. Don't compare your workload to people's whose lives you don't want. A different outcome requires a different input.
Sure. Yeah. Whether it's you could substitute that for the word extraordinary. You got to do something extraordinary, not something out of the ordinary. I would agree with that. And that could be anything. It could be making a lot of money, but yeah, you got to be different. How do you sort of define what's normal, though? Is it like get up, go to school, get a job, you know what I mean? Go to college, get a job. That's sort of like
the average.
Mundane, average.
The average man in America is overweight, in debt, and divorced.
Is that true? Divorced?
I don't know, but it's
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
functionally it's true.
Sure. I think
So
you got to do something different. You got to do something different. I would agree with that.
yeah.
Or at the very least, whether you want to call it exceptional or not, if you want a different result than what you're getting, right? Because if you are physically fit, let's do it in reverse. If you're physically fit, you don't drink alcohol, you pay your bills, and you're like, dude, I want to be a fat drug addict in debt. It's like, all right, man, well, you're going to have to switch your habits up. You got to stop paying those bills, buy some fentanyl. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's habits. So sometimes I like doing that is like kind of, reconstructing it in reverse. So yeah, of course. Yeah. If you want to be an exception to whatever it is, you have to do something different. It does sound like a douche though, when you call it exceptional.
Yeah.
Although I get it.
It is exceptional
if
it's different. So what do you think about like don't compare your problems to people's whose lives you don't want?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
How
what's a good way to do that? It's hard.
Not comparing your problems to people whose lives you don't want. Yeah, it's just constructing like a circle of people that you like who are all like-minded and just kind of being laser focused on that. Social media can suck you into it, but it's just all about kind of who you hang around. If everyone's sort of like-minded and does it, then you don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like going to the gym and lifting, if you want to be a power lifter, just like hang around power lifters. You don't have to worry about like the marathon runners like fucking up your routine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just hang around people that are heading towards stuff that you want to head towards or are already there in a perfect world. And then, why would you ever compare yourself to anyone else? Actually, you can compare yourself to people you want to be like too, and that can screw you as well.
Yeah. If you hang around those people that you want to be like or are trying to be like what you are also trying to be like, then you'll have similar problems to compare to and similar workloads to compare to. And
yes,
that might be a healthy thing because you're like, okay, I'm not alone. This is normal.
Sure.
It's normal for my situation. Okay, next one. You cannot wish for a strong character and an easy life. Each is the price of the other.
I do think there's some truth to that. People seem to do better and are more happier when there's some sort of struggle. People want to achieve. They want to grow. You know what I'm saying? They want to grow. And they want to go through what's the saying? The journey's better than the view.
Yeah, journey's greater than the destination.
Yeah, you go through stuff and you ever look back, right? If I said, tell me a funny story from high school, you wouldn't tell me some story of like something cool happening. You'd tell me some story of like, oh, dude, remember that time we threw that, we did this, I said something to so-and-so, and then they put us in school suspension, and then you picked your nose and flicked it, and it went in this person's thing. And like, it's always this like situation that was bad at the time, right? Because we kind of like that like struggle. That's why people wear like a badge of honor. People who have gone to prison and stuff, right? Or if I told you I did 10 years in prison, I'd be way more interesting to you. You'd be like, holy shit, right? It's just like, whoa, that sounds like a struggle. Like, what happened? What'd you do? How'd you get out of it? The drugs. People are very interested in drugs. I get shocked. Johnny likes, asking about it. And I'm just like, it's so normal to me now that I went through drug addiction and I've told it, a lot. And I still do like talking about it. But it's just people are interested in struggles. True crime podcasts are through the roof. I like watching murder. You know what I mean? Stuff like, maybe that's not an exact, but I like struggle. Not like, look at the story of this guy who inherited $1 million. It's just not interesting.
Yeah, right.
It's not interesting.
That's why we like Alex Hormozi.
Yeah.
He just sleeps on his gym floor.
And it's not all about, yeah, that's true. And it's not all about money. You can create strong character. Tiger Woods' father created strong character by, talking shit when he was like trying to hit. He created like, that kid had like a bulletproof mind because, but then again, his dad died and he started fucking hookers all day long. And so I don't know. I think that question though, to circle it all in, is not, it's hard to answer from a black and white perspective, but I would err on the side of you need to struggle. I think it makes people happier, and because then you're proud, and if you're proud, you're confident, and you can achieve more.
I think I have a strong character. Do you think I do?
I think you do.
Do you think I have an easy life?
I think you have an easy life. Again, I hate how, dude, the older I get, the more annoying I get, because it's like, I don't think you have a hard life, But like, I know people who have had easier lives. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I know. I completely agree with you.
Okay, we could say religion builds character, right? That's pretty objective for the most part, right? I think most people would agree.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the whole idea.
And it's hard. And it's hard to practice that stuff. I'm not saying you're perfect, but you got to get up, you got to do certain things, you got to live a certain way. Like, that's a struggle in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Even the belief.
Like, especially when you're young.
You think I know 100% that
Bible school at 18 is like not, I'm not saying you went there, but like that's not like sexy to 18-year-old girls. So you have to like struggle through that because eventually you're going to be 45 when you're in your 30s and you have a family and you can take care of them and stuff. All of a sudden that is sexy. Now that's like what you really want to be. You know what I'm saying? So you had a different kind of struggle, you know, because do you know how many people struggle in life? They grow up in the projects, right? We all love that story. Pulled myself up from my bootstraps, was shooting dope in the projects, made it out. I used to sell crack, and now I'm a millionaire. Yeah, how many of those people grow up like that, and they just still have weak character, dog shit, stealing from people their whole fucking life?
Yeah.
If it was so...
It's 99% of them.
If having the hardest life in the world gave you the best character, then why do most people who live in those situations never fucking make it out? That's the fucking truth. So, I don't know. But that's an objective fact. Most people never get out of that. You know, it's like, so if you're raped repeatedly from 8 to 15 every summer by a family member, you're going to have stronger character automatically because you went through a harder struggle. I don't know about that. Maybe, maybe not. It's too like black and white. But I think in general, you can confidently say if kids are given stuff too easily and they don't have to work for it and feel achievement, like I went out and I had to earn that. You know, at least from the male perspective, I do think you're robbing them of their happiness.
Yeah, you need to give your kids an opportunity to struggle.
You do.
You can't give them everything. They're going to resent you later. And, you know, that's not even the most important thing. They're going to have a tough time dealing with any sort of struggle after you're done and you can't help them anymore.
Yeah. That's a human being thing.
Yeah, yeah. Next one. The difference between what you do and what you say is who you want to be and who you want people to think you are.
Oh, that one stings bad. If you really like listen to it, say it again. The difference between what you say and what you do.
The difference between what you do and what you say is who you want to be and who you want people to think you are.
Yeah, that is so true.
That one. You know,
most people can go through social media.
A lot of these aren't black and white, but that's black and white.
That one's pretty black and white.
Yeah.
And the older, and I know I've said this like 10 times, but like the older I get, the more I am becoming very vigilant about like making sure I am who I say I am, you know? So I feel very confident talking about like, I can tell someone how I made $1 million, got a $1 million check, but I can't tell someone how to get 2 because I've never done it. I think I got a good idea, but I've never done it. So shut the fuck up. Rather than getting on here and act like I'm some business guru. I'm not, bro. I am what I am. This is what I've done. It's pretty cool. Like, because then you feel more confident and you don't suffer from, what's that saying?
Imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. That's exactly what it is.
I'm scared if I ever get famous. I don't know, man. I think I'd struggle with that.
Imposter syndrome?
I think I would.
Nah. You get good people in your life, you know? You surround yourself. But you may feel that way. People change, though. If we knew 10,000 people, 100,000, 1 million people were watching this, it may change.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I would, too. But the older I get, the less I would give a shit. You know?
Yeah. It's more important, too. I heard this recently. You know, anyone can starve themselves for 3 days and not drink any water and sit in a sauna and lose 10 pounds and look really good. But you aren't that person. You're not the person who's in shape. You can't give that advice.
Sure.
It's not about how you look. It's about who you are. Like, are you the type of person to be in shape? Or did you just spend 3 days, lose 15 pounds that you're going to gain back in 20 hours? You know, it's more important about
who you are.
Who you are, the type of person you are.
I remember putting out a podcast, and in the thumbnail I put how I made $3 million, when in reality that project was in process. It actually, the project cost about $1 million, and then the building appraised at $3 million. So I created $2 million worth of equity. And I own 50% of that. So it's like, I'm like creating this imposter syndrome because it's like, I mean, I bought a building for $250, spent some money and turn it into something worth $3 million with the help of other people. But it wasn't even done yet. And like, I put that in the thumbnail because I wanted it to sell. Like as if I should be ashamed to wait a year and say I made $1 million and be fucking real. Mm-hmm. Just loser shit. Yeah. And that's why it bothered me. Like, not just that particular thing, but I felt that like ego thing and I needed to be more important than I am. Even if you make 50 grand on a house flip, it's awesome. It's great. $10, whatever. You know, it doesn't fucking matter. You know?
Hormozi has another quote. You only feel imposter syndrome if you're lying.
100%. Yeah.
You think so?
Me personally, I do.
Depends what context. I don't know. If this podcast blew up and I suddenly have 3 million people watching every episode I do, I don't think I would feel like I deserved it.
Really?
I'm satisfied. Maybe because...
But the market shows that you deserve it.
Yes, but I'm me. Like, I know me, and I know...
If you organically grew your content and it blew up and you did well and it got there, it'd be different than if, like, somehow you knew a guy who knew Drake, so Drake came on and did a quick thing, so you got, like, a couple of your episodes got, like, 200,000 views, and now you're walking around the joint like you're some YouTube superstar, but deep down you kind of knew, like, I kind of had, like, a, what do they call that in streaming? I forget what they call it, but, like,
I don't know.
You basically, like, a streamer can, like, tell their audience, like, everyone go follow this guy. They'll find some streamer that has, like, 4 people watching, and they'll get, like, 60,000 people, and the kid's like, holy fuck, you know?
Yeah, changed my life, but then after, you're like...
Yeah,
it goes up, and your new bar is here, and then it just goes right back down because the hype doesn't last.
Yeah, when I had
I don't... It's just... I know who I am, and I feel like, dude, I'm just a 20-year-old kid that's making podcasts, so why are this many people, like, watching me? Why do you think that I'm worth listening to? I don't feel like I'm that worth listening to. It's weird, like, because I have a lot of stuff I want people to hear, but a lot of people to hear. But if it was happening, I feel like it'd be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
hard to tell you till you're there.
I think you'd be nervous about fucking it up. Maybe you would. I just wouldn't struggle with, like, feeling like I don't deserve it. I just. You know, you would definitely have to be a little more careful about what you say. It could change who you are, especially if advertising gets involved. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, let's cut that out. The part where he said something about, like, getting raped. Like, we can't, like, say that. Like, we can't. You know what I mean? And you're like, well, I want to be me. And you're like, but I like that check from Peloton that I'm getting every month for fucking $9,000. You know, I know why you're saying that.
Dana.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's
Enough
the
said.
truth.
Okay, next one. People see the trophies, but not the training ground.
Yeah. Yeah. When you need people to root for you, no. When people start rooting for you and getting behind you is when you don't need it.
That's it. That one's here too.
Is it really?
Yeah. People only root for people who don't need it.
People only root for people who don't need it. That is absolutely true. So that's like, I remember seeing the video where he talked about that, and it's like, you know, you need to have someone in your corner, but it's got to be you. And like they say, it's the long, slow clap.
Yeah.
For a long.
And there's one person out there clapping, and it's you.
And it's you. And it's brutal.
But if you have a good support system, my dad's clapping out there, my mom's clapping out there, some of my friends are too.
Sure.
So, you know, it goes up. But it is very true. People who don't know you, they'll only cheer once you're successful. Even people that you do know, high school friends, they're not going to cheer for me unless I hit however many subscribers, and they want something from me. People want you to lose because it helps them justify the risks they weren't willing to take.
Yeah, I mean, It could be that. Maybe the risk they weren't willing to take, or just people just in general don't want you to do better than them. It's kind of human nature, you know? Because it becomes a reflection to themselves. And that can be any sort of success. Whether it's you cut out sugar, you're like, I stopped watching porn, I don't drink alcohol at all. There's going to be people who sort of like feel a little bit threatened by it, you know? I get motivated by other people. I do. I get motivated, but I'm just so indifferent to everybody now. I just don't give a fuck what other people are doing.
Yeah, there's like two types of people. There's the people that see successful people, more successful than them, and are motivated. And then there's others that feel convicted.
Sure.
And feel like, I don't like that. You're like shining a light on me, on my darkness. And
yeah,
I don't know. It's a tough. I see it too in myself. Like Joey Pants' podcast, if he started doing well, like really, really well, part of me would be like, I feel like I kind of deserve it more. But, realistically, the market determines that, and it doesn't lie.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? It's not like I hate the kid. I love the kid. He's a great guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I respect you for saying that. But you'll grow as a person. That's like ego. You're dealing with like ego stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. Honestly, that's the biggest problem with this fucking industry. Anything that has to do with online is like opinions of other people, and you just invite all that into your life. And the good ones, it's nice to get the validation, and you get the bad ones, and then you got the worst is when you make things up. The lack of attention. What does that mean for me as a character? Do you enjoy doing this?
What part? The whole thing?
The whole thing. All in all. Is it a net positive?
Net positive. I know it's growing me. I know I'm learning a lot. Do I enjoy it? I wouldn't call it fun.
Really?
I like this part.
Yeah,
this
part's fun. You don't like the editing and everything.
I don't like the editing. I don't like the scheduling. I don't like even like researching. It's just kind of a pain. But
yeah. So why do you do it? Why do you want to get 5 million subscribers? Is it because you want money?
It's part of it.
What do you really want?
I don't know.
Attention?
I ask that a lot.
It's okay to admit it.
But no, it's like it's such a mix. It is a mixed bag. Because I want the influence, not the influence for my end, but I want to help people. Like I want to help people. I see Jordan Peterson. I'm like, I want to be Jordan Peterson. I want to help others. Right. But at the same time, dude, the money, of course. The attention, of course. And one of the biggest things that I think is probably different from a lot of people is I see these guys like Alex Hormozi and Chris Williamson and even Theo Vaughn and stuff, and I want to talk to them. Like I want to be friends with them. And this is the only route, realistically.
Right. I don't know if that's true, if that's the only route, but it's
what am I going to do? It's all luck if not. I mean, unless
Dude, you're 20 years old.
I know.
I didn't think I was going to be a real estate investor at 20. I was doing dope until I was 26. Thought I'd be working at a golf course my whole life. Like, you don't even know a fucking clue.
Yeah,
Gary Vaynerchuk? He's kind of a pain in the ass, but he's got some good stuff. He would, like, laugh in your face. If you were like, dude, this is my only shot, man. He'd be like, are you out of your fucking mind? He'd be like, 10 years ago, you were in 4th grade. Like, dude. He's like, if you're 70, it's like, yeah, we're hitting the back 9 of, like, career here. For sure. Maybe the 18th hole of career. But at 20, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're going to be doing.
I know. I just hold myself to a standard that it's not even like a high performer thing. It's just like I'm scared that I'm going to be a failure.
With the podcasting?
No, in general.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, definitely with the podcast too. But yeah. When I was going through Alex's tweets, he actually tweeted something, and he's like, if you're 20 years old and you're worried that you don't have a $20,000 watch and a $100,000 car, here's a picture of me on my gym floor when I was 23 and dead broke. He's like, you're not a failure, you're just early.
Yeah, that's true.
And I took a picture of it. I need that reminder a lot.
You need that video of like all those famous people that didn't make it big until they were older.
Yeah.
You ever seen that one?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Samuel L. Jackson got his first like big movie gig at like 43.
Yeah, the person who wrote that like the Harry Potter books wrote them when she was like 50.
Yeah,
finished when she was like 56, and yeah, now she's like a billionaire.
Imagine if her at 20. Imagine at 20, she had a podcast and she was just like, "This is my only fucking chance." It's like, no, you're gonna become a billionaire in your 50s from a fucking book. Think about how insane you really sound. I get it.
Yeah, I know.
I get it, and I'm not saying it to like make fun of you because but like that was such a ridiculous statement to make. But I get it. I do get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be listening back to this part when I'm feeling it really, because I don't know, it's tough. I don't like making it about me. It's not supposed to be about me.
It's fun though. I failed in life big time, right? I screwed up and I made it back. That's what makes it interesting.
I know, that's crazy.
So even if you do fail, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
just keep fighting. You know,
so many chances.
And once you have children too, and you're married with kids, like there's something a little bit more to fight for. And like all that matters is that like you take care of them. So all the other stuff becomes less important. So it's like, how could you tell me I'm a failure? Like I always put food on the table. I always gave it my all. I always did this. Like what you know what I mean? Like some fucking 18-year-old who's really, really good at Fortnite in streams and make millions of dollars. Like, yeah, like he's worth more to the marketplace because like that's like a thing that he's in, and awesome. He deserves every penny he got. But like, I don't think of him as like better than me. It's just is what it is. The Rock isn't like better than me. He's just
not a better person necessarily.
Oh yeah, I mean he might be, he might not, but like
he might be, but that's completely different.
There's a lot of better people than me, but like I just don't look at it. It's like even in like relationships, like I used to be so jealous when I was in relationships, even up until my mid to late 20s. Just other guys look better than me, and like, it's just like all of that is just so gone from me. I just don't care. I mean, like I want to be in better shape and stuff because I want to hold myself to a higher standard, and I want to become successful and achieve stuff and make sure I set my family up good. But if I did another podcast, it would be way different than the way I was on the first, because I was suffering with that imposter thing. I was less certain, and I'm still sort of uncertain, which kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because I've done some pretty cool stuff, but I'm more honest about it now, and I actually think it would make me, my guess, I don't know, more attractive to listen to. Because you know why? Because people can feel authenticity, and they can feel when it's like, I don't know if this kid's legit or not.
Yeah, people like humility. I've been told so much in my life that it's like that I'm a humble person, and that's what a humble person would say. No, but like it's so easy to be humble on the outside. It is, but it's still obvious when someone's being humble and they're just not being true. You just know that they're.
You can feel it.
Yeah,
you can feel it. You know, I agree with that, and I don't know if someone listened back to the way I'm talking now. I think there is some humility in there. But it's like that humility almost comes off as confidence in a way.
It is. It is. You know where you are, and you're completely fine. You don't feel the need to exaggerate how much money you make to feel good about it, so others feel like you're cool, right? Because you're happy with it. And I think it's probably because you've changed your definition of success from the results to the inputs that you did.
Sure.
Right? Is that it?
I think so. Yeah, and maybe I don't have a good example of it. I mean, I'm more away from like social media than I was at that time. That sucks you in. But that could be a good definition. And I'm not like Alex Hormozi at this point in my life. I'm in a different business than him. So it's hard for me to, like, if I'm just like, I need to buy real estate, buy, like that's how you get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just keep like buying stuff. I got to be careful. It's a different business. And I need to
do you
focus.
even want that life?
Want what life?
His life?
Me personally, I don't think I want to put in the sacrifice that he did at this point in my life to start that type of, in that specific business, to create what he created, and then make $100 million and then create this media company or whatever he's doing, where he's got the acquisition.com, plus he's got everything he's got going on YouTube. Like with my family and stuff, I think it's great that like he doesn't have kids and this is what he loves to do. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think I would want to put that. I want to become successful, and I would love to talk to Alex, and I think he could help me. But I'm not interested in putting I guess you could say the work, or just doing the tasks that are necessary to make $100 million in the next 6 years.
Right.
I just don't know if that's like what's best for me and my little family. Genuinely, I don't think it's what's best for them.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. That's why he does it. He loves the game and he loves working. I don't like working. I'd rather not. I'd rather be sitting on a beach. And that's completely fine either way.
To tie this back in, I've heard Alex say when you get really good at something, you like doing it more. I think if you blew up, or when you blow up, because I believe you will if you stick with it, it's just like a matter of time. Honestly, if you just keep going, you'll eventually get better and you'll like it more. And like it'll be for money and things, but you'll just enjoy it more because you're gonna feel You're gonna feel more validated.
Mm. Yeah. Do you feel more motivated to work now that you have money, or when you didn't have any?
I'm still pretty motivated because, like I said, like if you have $250,000 sitting in the bank, you make $150 at your job, and you got like a business that's like growing equity, and like I'm in a pretty good financial position, so to speak. But houses are expensive and stuff. I would say I'm just as motivated as ever to work, but because I feel like I have a little more to lose now. I don't have a huge business to lose, but I'm slowing down, and I don't feel necessarily like the 27-year-old kid with like nothing to fucking lose, dude. And like I'm just gonna go for it. And if I foreclose, who gives a shit? I've been fucking upside down before. Like I don't have enough money to retire and be wealthy, like you know what I mean, forever. But I have enough in equity where like I could manage what I have and like be in like a really, really good spot. Like it would fucking suck if I fucked it all up trying to get more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do want to get more, but I'm gonna do it differently than like the other years when it was like just like go, we'll figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So would you call that less motivated or more motivated, or just different?
Equally as motivated in terms of. That's a great question. Am I less motivated because I want to be less risky?
It's like asking, like, will I be more motivated when I start making money from this podcast? Or am I more motivated now because I am doing it out of pure choice?
Yeah.
It's an interesting question for a lot of people.
It's impressive to be able to do what you do, but I need more money. Like honestly, just objectively to live. Like I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not for next month, but like I got colleges to fucking pay for eventually. I got houses and stuff, personal residences that need to be paid off and taken care of, right? Got to get a house and pay it off eventually, hopefully faster than 30 years. I'm going to need more cars. Like I don't have enough money to like not work. That's insane. You know? But I don't want to like fuck up the little business I have on the side that's growing my wealth, you know? But I don't want to be complacent and not take advantage of opportunity to grow. But I think I'm done having sleepless fucking nights because like I'm watching so much Alex Hormozi or so much Andrew Tate or so much Eric Spofford, like these guys that are like, if you're not waking up on Monday excited to grind your fucking face off, then you're a loser. You know, I kind of got like sucked into that a little bit. And it's like, I'm fucking miserable. You know what I mean? I'm stressed out. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe I'm weak. And those guys with $100 million could be like, you're a pussy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You're right. You're fucking right, dude.
I guess I am.
You know? And Elon Musk thinks you're broke. So fuck off.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. We don't take into account on the path not taken the things we would have lost along the way.
Say it one more time.
We don't take into account on the path not taken the things we would have lost along the way. So this is actually a movie where this girl kind of gets to live all these different lives. And she's like, ooh, I want to look at that life. I want to live that life because in this life, I'm successful. But then she finds out that her best friend's dead. And so it's that kind of idea.
So is it sort of like opportunity cost kind of thing?
Maybe not opportunity cost, but you know, you just, to live a certain life, you have to take certain sacrifices and certain things have to happen. Like a bunch of different stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that I don't know. Maybe me becoming the biggest podcaster in the world, maybe it's necessary that me and my dad have a horrible relationship and something goes absolutely wrong. Like, is that worth it?
No, it's not. I mean, if in that particular circumstance.
But we don't take that into account. So I'd be like, oh, biggest podcast in the world, I'll take that. I'll take that life. But,
right.
But I don't know what
Right.
comes with it.
Right.
It's the grass is always greener.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many but no matter what path you do, because being like, well, I'm just gonna like work a job and live, be a minimalist. Well, you might be fucking pissed that you did that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So go with your gut. You kind of know what feels. We know when we're like, if you're not on drugs and you're a good person, like you're gonna make mistakes, right? We all do. And the younger you are, the more you can make. But you kind of know when you're like doing the right thing in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best you're gonna get. Because you could go walk out of Market Basket and then notice that there's some old lady whose bags you need to, you should probably carry, help her out, and you put it in for her. And then an hour later, when you're on the highway, a tree falls and crashes your car, and you're like, if I didn't help that fucking bitch Robin put her shit in, right? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And maybe there was a blessing. The tree killed you, but you know what? You were about to get kidnapped and tortured by a drug cartel. For like, you can't overthink a lot of that stuff too much. Do you know what I'm saying? I know I'm being like crazy with the analogies, but I wouldn't get into like, well, if I do want to become successful, then what am I going to lose? Talk with people who are successful in what it is you want to do and ask them what their sacrifices have been.
That's good. That's good antidote to that. Very good, yeah.
Because if it takes 18 hours a day or whatever, it could screw it all up.
Yeah, you're like,
I want to be wicked good at Fortnite, honestly, like wicked good. But I don't really want to put the work in that I have to.
So you don't really, really want.
There's too much.
Yeah. You just want other stuff more priorities.
Yeah, there's other shit I got to take care of, or that I don't have to take care of, but I want to take care of more.
Yeah,
than
right.
That. You know what I'm saying? Like
I want my kids to survive. Like you don't have to.
Well, I mean, I definitely need that.
Yeah.
But there's things I want, but I'm not willing to put the work in.
Oh yeah. You've got to be okay with the fact that no one will ever know how hard you work.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't feel like I'm the hardest working guy in the world. So he's so obsessed with that, though. I get his point because he's like trying to speak to like people who want to be insanely successful, which I have periods like that, and I've been that.
I don't know. I feel like he's talking to people like me, where I'm working and like people don't know how much work I'm putting in, but I should be okay. Like I'm gonna lose motivation if I don't realize that like no one knows, and it's fine. That's completely fine. No one has to know.
Right.
And that doesn't make me a martyr. It's just how it is. There's a lot of people that work at stuff that I have no idea that they do.
100%. You should see my wife's day. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, my mom doesn't have a job, and she's more busy than we are.
Yeah, you should see the life of a mother with 3 or 4 young kids at home. It's insane.
Yeah, but they do it. They do it anyway, even though no one knows. And that I think that's what it is. I mean, you could be right about the high performers.
My response to that would be, well, how would they know? How the fuck would anyone know? Everyone's doing their own thing.
I know all I do is put out a video, an hour-long video every week of people talking. Like, they shouldn't have to think about what I'm doing behind the scenes. Yeah, they shouldn't have to.
No one gives a shit. And when they click on yours and it says you have a view, there's 200 views, you're not sitting there thinking like, wow. Like, imagine how busy they are, how hard they work. They took the time to click on. You're just like, make sure you like it and subscribe. The stats show 96% of you aren't subscribed, right? You know how those YouTubers do that?
80, 85.
Honestly, those numbers are staggering how annoying that is.
It is.
And I don't even run a YouTube channel, but it's like, fuck, man, these people get 14 million views and they're like 1% of you are subscribed. I think you changed this guy's fucking life.
I know, right?
If you just hit subscribe.
Yeah. Well, you don't get money for subscribers, but,
Yeah, but you need 1,000.
Yeah. But once you're past that,
then it's useless.
Yeah.
No, but subscriptions do help.
No, because then
people
you
click
show
the
up.
video.
Yeah, they show up in your feed more.
It's like free advertisement.
Pretty much. Hit that notification bell.
I don't care that people do or don't know how hard I work. I don't think I work like insanely hard. And if I did, I worked way harder when I was broke, getting up at 5 a.m, driving to Athol, working 10, 12-hour days, coming home, painting on the weekends. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You didn't care that people didn't know?
I did at the time a little bit, right? But like letting people know is more disappointing because then they think you're a fucking tool bag.
Right.
You know?
Like, oh, you want me to feel bad for you? It's like, sorry?
It's like I got kids and shit at home. Like, dude, I got family to feed and thinking big, generational wealth and like, you know, not necessarily big numbers, but like, who do I want to know? My dad? He kind of knows. Who do I want to know?
It's almost like that must be nice thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit. You know, must be nice. But it's like, yeah, dude, okay. But you don't know how much work I put into this. You don't. So.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I do. Because I've done it.
Well, no, I'm not even specifically talking to me.
No, I know. I know you weren't saying I don't, but I do know. That's why I'm not fucking doing it anymore. Johnny, shit for brains. Johnny was trash. Great on the podcast. Great kid. He didn't want to do the editing. I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah.
You know? And guess what? Neither did I. And I was too lazy to go out or cheap to go buy like a really, really good desktop. So it was taking me fucking forever because it wouldn't like load and stuff.
Yeah, no, I tried editing a few on my laptop. It's horrible.
It was horrible. Dude, I did 40 episodes like that.
Yeah.
When I first did it, I was doing it in like 4K. Dude,
yeah.
It was
so glad I
it was
don't do
taking like
4K
25 hours for me to edit like a 1-hour podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The processing, making the multicam view on Adobe, like with 4K would literally take 4 hours. and now it takes like 20 minutes for me.
Yeah, if you have a good, I know.
I get 1080p. It's good enough. No one knows the difference, really.
You want to make it. That's why. You want to make it so bad. You fantasize, not you necessarily, but like people.
I do.
They fantasize about like looking back, and part of it is fun. You want to earn it. That kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If I was some dude with 25 million subscribers, and I'm like, this is my buddy Joey, blah, 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 blah. Everyone should give him a follow, and you got 17,000 people overnight, you'd feel like my little cuck bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to earn it. And you're fantasizing looking back because you're like, I'm fucking grinding. And you're like, what if when I make it, they say I didn't work out? You got all this shit going on in your head. You know what I mean? That like doesn't even matter. And yeah, that is what's going to happen. There's also going to be people that love you for fucking no reason. There's going to be people who like think you're so incredible. Dude, I fucking grinded in here. What'd you do? You fucking click a mouse over and over again for hours? Yeah, it was hard. Talk to the guys in the coal mine. I'm not putting down. It actually can motivate you to be like, yeah, this isn't that fucking hard. You're sitting there, your fucking ice cream or whatever you're doing. You know, you eat healthy. But me too, because I used to take that. Like, I work fucking hard. I go, what do you do? I'm driving, looking at buildings. Yeah, I think this is good to call this guy. Yeah, this is what I think we should charge for rent. Like, it ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan was the hardest working guy. Yeah, he was a hard worker.
Yeah, but he's playing basketball.
Basketball. He's like talking about how he played 36 holes of golf, drinking Coors Light before he went to his fucking job. You ever heard that story?
Yeah.
Where he scored like 40. He's great. He is a hard worker, but like stop like romanticizing. Everyone fucking works hard. If you pay your bills here in America and you have any sort of excess cash and you're able to provide for your family and do shit, you work hard. You do.
Yeah, you don't need other people to say you do. It's a good view of, you know, you don't want people to hand you fame. Or, I mean, it applies to so many analogies are like so goodly, so explained so well through social media. So that it is good. Like you don't want, like I almost don't want Elon Musk on my podcast right now.
Sure.
If I could. Because it would blow up. And then I feel like I wouldn't deserve it.
True, but
I didn't put in the work, and I didn't. And maybe I do, but you know, I feel like Elon Musk is the only reason I'm famous.
Yeah, but like no matter what, that's like kind of like how it's gonna go to a certain extent.
Partially.
Certain clips, certain this. But Elon Musk wouldn't be if you had if you stuck with this for 5 years and you had 3,000 subscribers, and then you did land like a big guest who blew you up. did that person blow you up, or did not quitting in the past fucking 5 years when most people can't even make it 3 weeks? You decide that. I don't know. I know which one's healthier for your fucking mindset.
Yeah.
I know what the statistics say. The statistics say, yeah, it's typically how it goes. It's sort of hockey sticks. You know what I mean? That's kind of how business goes in general. But if you want to choose to be negative about yourself, not you personally, but just people in general, then yeah, that's how people are. Yeah, if Elon Musk wanted to come on here, if you asked me, I'd be like, why would you say no? Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be different though if you were like begging. You knew his nephew and you were like hitting that kid up on Instagram like every fucking day. Like, I need Elon on my podcast. Like, some could call you persistent.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
No, I mean, if Elon wants to come on, Elon, if you're listening, come on. Yeah, no, it's good. That's something I definitely got to work on in my mindset about what happens in my life. Making sure, like, I don't need to expect to be rich and famous in a year. I don't need it, and it's tough. It's tough, but what am I going to do? Just keep going.
You want to be famous, man. You want people coming up to you and taking pictures and shit.
See, I do, and that's so egotistical. But
it's humbling that you're able to admit it. Most people wouldn't. I wouldn't mind it either. For a little bit, I wouldn't mind it.
I think a lot of people, when they feel like when they say that, people are going to look down on them. But I don't think people are going to look down on me for saying that. I mean, that's totally understandable. But I feel like anyone who's getting rich or famous, just obviously they feels good for people to come up and say, oh, I love your stuff. I love your podcast.
That would be great.
That would be so cool. Even people now that I already know that say that stuff, like, makes my day. Completely makes my day.
Yeah.
Like, dude, thank you so much. I love it. And it's even people that I wasn't even like friends with in high school, and they just say it, and I'm like, dude, I really like you. You're awesome.
You have like a nice sort of, I don't know, how do I put this? You have like a charm about you because you have like innocence because it's real. You know what I mean? Whereas like when I was doing the podcast, I had more charisma, but I think there was a little more in authenticity. Is that a word?
Inauthenticity? Yeah.
That's a word? Okay, yeah. So like it just was less authentic, you know? I feel like I'm more authentic now, like on your show.
You are. You're doing well.
But don't lose that if that's who you are. If you become more like Conor McGregor was a fucking arrogant douche, but dude, that felt fucking real.
Oh yeah.
And the world knew that was real. There was something about that, dude. That guy was very special as an entertainer. He was very captivating because you know how some people can just do that and it works? It's because it feels fucking real. Mm-hmm. And then there's always that other fighter who copies.
Well, because it is real. That's the love of Dana. That's why we love Dana, right?
Oh, I love Dana White.
Because he'll talk anything to anyone and just rip them apart, but then he'll put his money where his mouth is. Yeah,
and he's very he doesn't really shy away from certain things, and you almost can't cancel him.
Yeah, he doesn't talk big either, and is a coward, and that's the same thing with McGregor. He's back, by the way.
I know he's feeling more and more disingenuous by the day, though.
I'm sure.
By the year, I don't know.
I don't know how that fight's gonna go.
I'm over the McGregor phase. I wish him well.
That's the thing. Well, the thing is, like, if McGregor, he's either gonna win, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, or he's gonna lose, and it's gonna be like, this is so sad. It's the end of an era.
I'll always be rooting for him. You know, he gave me a lot of. There was some good, I guess you could say good memories, but man, I had a lot of fun in 2004. You were really young, but 2014, 15, 16, he was a blast to watch, dude. Honestly, it was some of the most, his press conferences were more entertaining.
Oh, dude, I've probably seen all of them.
I would get out of work. I was probably getting high at the time, but like, I remember like getting out of work and shit and like going right on YouTube, and like his press conference would be streaming in like 30 minutes. And like, I'd have it up on my phone, like waiting. Like you would anticipate, you know, like a big fight or you know, the Super Bowl that your team's playing in, just to hear this fucking guy talk. Sometimes even interviews.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. Like a 17-minute Conor McGregor interview was like heaven on earth because he was so captivating, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves is prideful people and cocky people. There's something about UFC fighters where I just give them a pass there. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're an animal. Maybe because they are. Maybe because they deserve it.
Yeah.
That might be why. That honestly might be why.
You think about Conor, though, yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, well, as men, we like that. The fact that they can, like, fuck people up. Is that what you're saying? Because they're just, like, animals.
It's just like, I don't like cocky people in almost any situation. But then the UFC fighters, I'm like, I mean, you kind of deserve to talk like about that.
You kind of have to.
You can. They have to be, but also I think they deserve it. Like I really do.
Yeah, when Conor was coming up and started getting famous and became famous, kind of before the Floyd Mayweather fight, like he was like the first guy to. I remember the first time he said at one of the press conferences, it's when you're signed to fight me, it's a celebration. You heard him say that. You ring back home, you ring your wife, and he's saying like I had never heard that term in MMA before when he said I'm the money fight in the male shit at all weight divisions, and it was like at that it's like, oh, he's right, like he is like holy fuck. Like all these people, it never dawned on me until I was like, yeah, everyone would want to fight him because they'll make more money. Mm-hmm. That became cool, right? Floyd Mayweather did sort of the same thing. And that was like so genuine. And then as he's made this transition into like celebrity.
He's a superstar.
And he is a superstar, but like now he owns the whiskey business and that stuff's cool. But like now you're just like a guy in that world.
Right.
You're not like... I don't know, and I almost feel like him getting into all these ventures, and he's doing, and it's great. He's making money, and he's passionate about it, and I respect the fuck out of it. Like acting, he's in acting,
I know,
but it's just like, bro, you're not as cool acting as like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It feels less authentic.
It's not the same when he was up on that scale flexion, and you just know he's there for the fun, and he's there to win, and
like you're there with Jake Gyllenhaal, and now Jake Gyllenhaal's like the alpha. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I just see it as, it's just such a... Those fighters are so pure. Like, their minds just... They want to win. They're in it for the money. But they really, at the core, are not in it for the money. They're in it. They want to win. They want to fight.
They all do, yeah. There's no
and that is something, like, just so cool about that I love. It's really crazy. Did you watch UFC 300?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Whole thing?
I did watch the entire thing.
Yeah,
good thing I didn't put that bet in. I was shitting on you about the Max Holloway fight. We were calling it a lock all week, dude. He got
Gaethje.
He got wrecked from bell to bell.
First round nosebleed, like nose breakage for Gaethje.
That was weird the way he kept throwing these spinning back kicks and he would duck into it. Yeah. They're like body kicks.
But the very first one at the end of the first round.
It shattered his. That fight was over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then he had a couple eye pokes in the second.
Yeah.
That didn't help. I'm not, no excuses. Like he just whooped his fucking ass the whole fight. But
probably the best fight I've ever seen.
That was, the end of it was exciting.
Well, the whole thing was exciting.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh yeah, because Gaethje rocked him for a little bit too. At one point.
Holloway's first knockdown.
Yeah.
First knockdown ever on Holloway.
Yeah.
In like 10 years. That's pretty insane.
Pretty incredible.
And it's Gaethje, and then he still wins. Pretty nuts. Pereira. I had Pereira. Well, I didn't. I don't bet, but I had Pereira.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I don't gamble either.
I can't bet against Pereira. He's too good.
He's dominating.
We got to go off. Get back on track.
Yep, let's do it. Edit that however you want.
I don't know. I'll probably keep it. Let's see what's next. What's a good one? If three amazing people come together with super high skills in complementary domains, the outcome isn't 3 times as big as they could have done on their own. It's 30 times or 300 times.
I would agree with that. There's if you read Napoleon Hill books, you know who he is? Think and Grow Rich guy?
No.
You should check that out. But they talk about how, like, if you have a mastermind alliance and how, like, the power of multiple minds multiplies, essentially. I don't know if that's the actual quote, but I do believe that because one person can come up with, like, different ideas and different you know what I mean? A different variation of an idea. If they're talking to someone else, it can grow. And then you start getting 2, 3, 4 people involved. And now it's kind of like how, like, if you have 2 numbers, right, if you just got a 1 and a 2, how many different numbers can it make? Well, only 2. And then you add a 3, and now it's like, oh, there's a lot. You add 4, and then when you add 9 numbers, it can do like 100 jillion combinations. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm making that up right now, but I do think that's sort of how it works. You know
it's like it's not 3 plus 3 plus 3. It's 3 times 3 times 3, and the difference of that is 9 and 27, and then you keep going and.
Yeah, they talk about how you should always have a mastermind group of, sounds cringy when you say it like that, but, of people who get together and all have common goals, even if it's not in the same industry, similar industries, people who want to achieve what they want to achieve, get them together talking about it. That's how we do the book club at my house. Me, my wife, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, we all read a book.
Oh, that's smart.
We don't blast it on social media or anything like that, but we enjoy it.
It doesn't even have to be like a strict club, you know?
Sure.
It's like me and you and Johnny, and like we all have different goals and stuff, and I have my friends too. Yeah, and my friends too. Like they want to achieve stuff. None of them have a podcast, but it's all generalized.
Right.
All the advice, all the ideas. They have ideas that I don't have for me.
Yep.
And it's It's a very, very important. Very important.
Yeah.
It's tough to find people that have the same goals as you. If you have high standards.
I think it's same principles, same values, not same goals. Because who's gonna have the same goal? Like it's almost impossible to have the same goal.
Well, how about same standards?
You could say, okay, that's maybe a better way to put it. Same standards. That's true because we may have certain values. I bet you our values are more similar than you think, but also standards. Yeah. But also, no, I would disagree with that because if two people with similar values of what they want, their standards may be different because one person struggles than the other, and that's how you can help each other. Because if your standards are already perfect and they're the same, what is there to improve on? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I just find it hard to find people that want to be as successful as I do. And then it's hard for me to find motivation. Luckily, it's 2024, and I can find that online. And
sure.
I can directly like get those.
Now, when you say people who want to be as successful as you do,
in their own domain,
what's the data? Like what's the data you're using to? Is it hours worked? Is it thought? Is it like what's
freedom?
Like,
so partially money.
No, but if you looked at someone and said, this person doesn't want to be as successful as, doesn't want it as bad as I want it. What is the objective data you're looking at to come to that conclusion? Now, I get it. If he's sitting there sniffing cocaine, I get it. But like,
yeah,
that's
probably
not
the work
much.
They're putting there, the amount of work that they're willing to put in. I don't know. I just have a different mindset than a lot of people my age, which sounds cocky, but most people are different. So I guess that's not. But it means it's tough for everyone to find people that think similarly, and it's not really necessarily about values, but just about drive. I don't know. I don't even know where my drive comes from. It could be depravity, or I think I'm going to be a failure, or maybe I just want to do well. Could be anything. But whatever.
And where would you say you excel the most in terms of effort? What portion? I know you do different things.
What do you mean?
Is it the gym?
Oh.
Is it the bike stuff? Is it this?
I'd say probably the gym.
Okay. I believe that. Now, do you think...
I don't know why.
Do you think we associate that more with grinding because you're not getting paid? Like if you were getting paid $100,000 a month, if I said Joey makes $150,000 a month to live the way he lives, would you be like, this is a fucking hard life. You're going to be fucking grinding, motherfucker. Would you be like, well, it's not that bad with that much money. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Wait, say that again.
So if your gym routine, your podcast routine, it feels like a grind because it is, because you're at the beginning where you're not like getting paid.
Yeah.
If someone got paid $1 million a year to do what you do, would you consider that like a hard life?
No.
A hard job?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I agree. And that's what broke my mold. It's like, it ain't that fucking hard. You ever seen these motherfuckers? Now it is impressive and things to get through that. But I don't think it's as hard as you think to find people.
Well, that's how I feel with the bike stuff. Because I can't talk exact numbers, but like, what we do is like, we work a lot. We work hard.
Sure.
But, from our returns, it's like, whatever, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I would work a lot harder for this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. Once you're like seriously getting returns on things, doing that thing is just, it's like, it's not actually not that hard.
It is hard work. Like I actually know, because I know Johnny's schedule. You guys work really, really hard, but
it's worth it.
I work hard, but like I do a lot of driving. It's not that fucking...
I mean, we do too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Driving's probably the most difficult part of your job, right?
Difficult? No. That's the easiest. It's fun when you go for drives.
Well, I should say but it's taxing.
Yeah.
It's harder than people think.
Yeah. Depends how much sleep I get.
You think
the night before.
Do you think driving's like work?
No. I like driving because I listen
truck
to
drivers
podcasts.
are essentially unemployed.
No.
I set you up for that in my head, knowing I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Because I've said that to someone before.
I do like the driving is like a break from work.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And
they're usually over an hour drive far away. So there and back, it's usually 2.5 hours. I'm gone at least. And it's kind of nice. Listen to podcasts, it's chill, and but yeah, like we do work hard, but we also drive. It's like, I guess it's not that bad.
And cleaning the bikes, you're going through. No, I see it both ways. I think there's almost something associated with hard work is like also being broke. I don't know. When you're working hard but you're making money, it's like not as, I don't know. There's just something about the people that work hard and make nothing. I've been there before in my life.
Yeah.
It's so brutal, bro.
It's just so well,
it's like almost like you're working harder. You know what I mean?
And people have this idea that like the hard work has to be like laying bricks or like, I don't even know, like working at McDonald's and you don't get breaks and stuff. I mean, that I'm not saying that's not hard because that is very hard.
Sure.
But like even I'm trying to think of a different business that's not us because but what we do is hard, I guess, is what I'm saying. And like from the outside perspective, it's not because we're just driving, cleaning bikes, doing all this stuff. But like it is hard. It is hard. And that's why like you said, if you're like living in America and paying bills, you're working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no matter what, it's just that's the thing that's screwed up is the value to the marketplace changes. So I think hard work is kind of a fucked up because hard work doesn't equal more money. It all depends on the market. Like how much value you're providing to the marketplace. If you move $800 million from one stock to another, that's gaining another 1.2%. Like you just created mad value. You didn't do fucking shit.
Right. Yeah, it's like, you roll 1,000-pound boulder across the country. It's like, well, you did work hard, but did you really like help anyone?
That's fucking hard work. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard work.
You didn't get anything from it. Maybe the experience. Maybe that's all worth it.
Give me another one.
You're never as proud of the things you accomplish as you are for the things you endured to get there.
Yeah, yeah. That's like what we were saying. Mm-hmm. You want to feel the journey's better than the view.
Yeah.
You don't think about a hike or college or like, you know what I mean? And you're like, man, like the view of that sunset. I mean, not really, right? Like you don't like really give a fuck. It's just like getting up and going and getting on the trail and packing your stuff and getting up there. And that's what people like. The view is just sort of like the feather in the cap, right? Like nobody looks back on the time they played college football. They're not crying when their high school or college football career is over because like, oh, I'm never going to win another game. Like nobody gives a fuck. You're just going to miss like all that camaraderie and the working towards something. And
yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And it's also that whole idea like you do remember the good times, but your most fond memories are all when stuff went bad and you had to work through it.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be like that.
Working with Johnny was one of the best times in my life. I didn't make a lot of money. I wasn't particularly good at what we were doing, so I didn't particularly like it. But I had a lot of fun.
It's nostalgic time. You didn't have anything, but you were grinding. And you're proud honestly, of yourself for that.
I don't think I'm happier now. I'm not unhappier though either. I'm just fucking baseline.
Yeah.
I'm the same no matter what. Like kinda. I stress a little bit less, but I also stress more because now I got shit to lose. I'm also more aware of like what having a little bit of money can do and in the stress it can take off, which then like kind of creates stress of like, what if I go back? It's just always the fucking same.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? The world comes up with all these inventions, yet nobody ever fucking gets better.
Yeah, no one gets happier.
Nobody ever gets happier.
Well, actually, I think people get sadder or less
we
satisfied.
got social media, but we're less connected than we've ever been in our life. Right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
We can click 3 buttons on our phone and get Chipotle right at our door.
100%. You can get healthy food delivered to your door every second of every day. Every grocery store has access to healthy food. Everyone's fat as fuck.
Yep. Why are we unhappy? Could be because of that stuff.
Is it the law of, what is it? What goes up must come down. Basically, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For everything that's invented that's going to like improve things, it's just like also like makes things more dog shit. It's never better, dude. You think someone's going to invent something to just like drastically like change the world and like life's just going to be fucking utopia for everybody? It's not. That being said, Waze is nice.
Yeah. I like to know where the cops are.
I think Waze in the iPhone is fucking awesome. It'd be such a bummer if the iPhone was gone. But ask someone who lived before an iPhone, are things easier? Oh, yeah, I couldn't imagine life without it. Are you happier now? I mean, I don't know. I'm like the fucking same. Yeah. I guarantee you that's what they'll say.
That is what they say. Yeah, they don't even know how to use it. They just know how to call. They use it like their old phones anyway.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't change their life.
You just adjust. Right. It might make you happier for a short period of time, right? They say within 24 months, everybody can get used to any single circumstance. If you had everybody coming up to you, the most beautiful women in the world and people, Joey, I love you. Your podcast is incredible. This and that, all the money. After 24 months, you'd be,
it's like, okay.
You'd be like wishing you could go outside and have no one know you.
Right.
And then if that went away 24 months later, you'd be like, I kind of missed that. That's how the fucking brain works. It's almost there to protect you. You know what I mean? It's like your brain wants to come back to like this homeostasis so you can continue to want to achieve something. And
yeah,
work
it almost doesn't want you to be satisfied completely.
Yeah, maybe that's to protect you.
Jeez, this sucks, man.
No, this is great. This is great though because it's like I know, yeah, because people want to like work hard.
Nah, you're right.
You need to achieve. That's what it comes down to. The best things in life are not. We talked about this, or maybe it wasn't me and you. The best things in life are not finite. They're infinite, right?
Yeah.
Can't win marriage.
Yes.
That's
a Hormozi thing.
That's a object of marriage is to stay in marriage.
Yep.
Can't win business. The object is to stay in business.
Right.
Can't win getting in shape. You can't just like reach a point where like you've put in the work for 5 straight years, so like you are immune to getting fat. You've eat clean. Nope. You still got to get up and do the work.
No one cares if you're in shape for 6 weeks out of 80 years. Like
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. And if you're in shape for 20 straight years, the next 20 don't care. Like they'll be brutal. You can get fucking fat and get heart disease. Like it doesn't matter that you've put that. That's one of the nicest things about money is that there's a system where you can let it sit somewhere.
Right.
And continuously grow at a rate where you can at least have a baseline. Your marriage don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter if you've been married for 40 years and you've been a perfect husband. You cheat on her.
Right.
It's like you just ruined all 40 of those years.
It's true. And everyone knows this saying, right? If you could have $10 million tomorrow, but you're going to die or I'll kill your fucking, your kids. And we're all like, yeah, dude, of course. I wouldn't take that. No. Really think about that though. Like really think about that. Don't just glance over it. Seriously. It's not to say, hey, you should be happier, but it's to say, hey, this is what it is. Almost no matter where you're at. You're never going to be happier or more sad unless you're consciously making fucking horrendous decisions that don't align with the value that you set for yourself. You just kind of need to meet the expectations that you've set for yourself. If you meet those expectations, it doesn't matter. If you're happy working 6 hours a day and making this much money and you're meeting it and that's genuinely in your heart what you believe you need to do and you meet those expectations, you're going to be just as happy as the guy who wants to make $10 million a year and meets it because you
might be happier.
You might be happier. You just gotta, or I'd argue it's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone just has different goals.
Yeah, the 10 million, but you to lose 5 years off your life. It is helpful to realize maybe I should be more thankful about what I have. Like I don't think I would take that.
Yeah.
Like so maybe stressing about money as much and worrying about not having $10 million is like, maybe I should stop and just realize what I have.
Yeah, just continue to focus on the process and move in the right direction. That's really all that matters. That's what's going to keep you happy. Focus on the process, move in the right direction, have faith that everything's going to be okay, and you will be fine. That I can almost guarantee. And if you're not fine, get through it anyway. Shit happens.
Right.
God's plan.
I lived through that model. If I do the right thing, if I do what I know I need to do every day, I'm going to be fine in every single circumstance in my life, in business, in relationships, in my spirituality, and everything.
Yeah.
It's like if I just do just every day, just choose to do what I know I need to do, I'll be fine. And I'll be happy probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Might
would
be
agree with
stressful,
that.
but you're going to live stressful. It's just going to happen. Actually, you know what's funny? I did a blood test, and normal cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, normal levels in the morning is like 19 to 22 for my age. Mine was 8.
So you're just like stress free?
No, it's
I
the
thought
reason
cortisol.
why I have like no energy.
Oh,
Well,
really?
yeah, like cortisol's not like the doctor that I was talking
I
to
thought that
said
has to do with stress. Am I making that up?
it does, but it also keeps you awake and alert and motivated. I mean, that's partially why it makes you stressed.
I wonder
right?
if mine's like 2. I'm so lethargic.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I didn't know mine would be. It is. That's off track though.
No.
Isn't that funny though?
Why was your testosterone lower than a fucking teenage girl's?
My test isn't lower than a teenage girl's.
I don't know why I said teenage girl. She was an old woman. I'm just kidding.
What do you think my test is?
You?
Yeah, take a guess.
It fucking better be 600 at least.
Oh yeah, it's at least 600.
You know what it is?
Yeah, I've gotten tested
850?
twice. Close, yeah.
You're not 1,000.
No, I'm not. But
you shouldn't be anyway.
My doctor said I should be.
Oh, you should say, what's yours? To
No,
that fucking guy.
he wasn't saying that as a negative thing. He was just like, dude, I feel like you'd feel better if you were at like 1100. I'm at 7. I tested at 713.
Yeah, but 1100 is like.
No, that's pretty average my age. That's like above average my age, but for what I do and how I am,
I think in today's world
normal.
though, it's like the food and everything. People's testosterone is just.
Well, yeah, that's why mine should be higher because I don't do that.
Yeah.
I actually am getting prescribed something that's going to help with that. Not, not taking Tren or anything.
What are you getting? Clomid?
No, it's not. It's like a natural thing.
Clomid. Clomiphene.
No, I don't think so.
HCG.
No, I'm not getting.
Natural? Are you getting scammed? Is this from the doctor?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what it. We don't have to talk about your prescriptions.
No, he's a naturopath. I don't even know what it's called. That's why I'm not saying it.
Oh,
he's a naturopathic doctor. It's like an herb that's supposed to
boost that shit.
Yeah, my DHT is created from testosterone, and my body for some reason creates a ton of DHT, which takes away testosterone.
Makes sense.
It's basically going to slow down DHT, whatever, making T into DHT, and then it's supposed to boost my testosterone.
Yep, that's good though.
And I've got something to boost my cortisol levels, which is also going to boost my test. So I'm going to be jacked, is what I'm saying. Soon. 315 incoming, boy.
Oh yeah, what are you benching these days? 290.
Dude, why do you even say that? Now I can't even say what I bench because it's just so low.
No, why? 290 is a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even close to that.
250?
Yeah.
That's legit.
That's pretty good.
How much do you weigh?
Like right now, like 158.
That's it? You're only 150? Then yeah, that's a wicked good.
160. Let's just say 160.
No. That's not like knocking you. That's a lot to bench because it's all relative to your weight.
Well, yeah. But...
like I could probably bench 250. I don't go to the gym, but I weigh 230.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you're benching 300 and I'm benching 300, yours is way more impressive.
No, I know that. I actually don't. I try not to bench anymore because I haven't benched 250 in a long time. I don't even know if I could do it right now.
Do you do incline bench?
No. I do incline dumbbell press. Same thing.
That's pretty
just
good. Just
dumbbells.
Too. Less chance of injury.
My shoulders are pretty bad, but it's not even less. My wrist for the past couple of years has been hurting.
It's always
recently, actually, on Monday I went to jiu-jitsu, and dude, my wrist is killing me.
Are you doing jiu-jitsu too?
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into it.
That's good.
I'm doing it while Johnny's on injured. So when he comes back and starts going with me, I'm gonna have a head start.
He's never going in there again.
You don't think so?
No, he'll never go in there again.
He didn't like it.
Nah, he's a football guy. Johnny's a tough kid. He'd be good at it.
He came with me once before. Guess who won?
Him. Really?
I had a little bit more experience, but yeah.
Well, it's a skill. Like, yeah, if you're fucking good
well,
at it.
I also did wrestling in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for 2 years.
If we rolled right now, what would you put me in? Rear naked? Would you just go for the rear naked?
No, I don't know. Probably do something fun.
Like what?
A little spladle.
Triangle choke. Put my fucking head in your balls.
Nah,
I'd be furious.
I'll put you in a spladle so you couldn't move. It's not like it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you just wouldn't be able to move.
What do you think would happen if we got in a fist fight?
I'd probably die.
Do you think so? I'm not convinced of that.
What do you think? You think I'm going to beat you up?
It's possible. What am I going to do? I mean,
have you gotten in any fights? I don't even think that matters. To be honest,
not really. Not really. I don't train at all.
Yeah, I've gotten in one fight, but it wasn't even like I didn't punch the guy. I was doing wrestling, so I tackled him. And
I mean, I have a big weight advantage. Maybe
yeah.
some strength advantage, probably not much.
You don't think you have a big strength advantage?
I don't know if the strength advantage is going to be big enough to overcome. You're younger, you're fitter, I don't know.
You
do some jujitsu. You do. I'd probably rather box you.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know. Well, you said fist fight. Fist fight, I'm done. If we did like a jujitsu fight, maybe like I have MMA. A chance.
I'm probably gonna gas quicker than you because I'm a smoker.
Yeah, true. I was a smoker.
I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me.
Not for as long as you.
I know one thing. It would be a terrible fight, like for the fans. No matter what happens.
Yo, let's do it. But let's get that pay-per-view. Let's hit up Dana. And...
Let's do a pay-per-view. There'd probably be like 8 people who would buy it.
Right? I guarantee I could get at least like 100 people to buy that. A pay-per-view.
A fight? For what?
Yeah.
$10? 50?
No, that's too cheap. Maybe like $30.
$30, 100 people.
100 people. That's,
we each
I don't
make
even know if I know 100 people.
$1,500.
Yeah, dude.
For me to get a concussion, I would never do that.
You wouldn't get a concussion. I'd die.
I'm not convinced.
But I'd get $1,500.
I'm not convinced of that. My pride.
All right, you want to get back into this?
Yeah, let's go.
Most people mistake success for luck because they've never worked hard for anything in their lives, so they can't imagine another way something big could happen for anyone else.
Yeah, whether it's luck or hard. You know what I think people are mixing up, in my opinion? The hard work gets thrown out there. It's just persistence. I think people are very surprised. They overestimate what they can get done in a year, and they vastly underestimate what they can get done sacrificing 5 to 7. Always overestimate how their podcast is going to do in a year or their body transformation, although you can make some pretty big changes in a year, but they don't realize, like, you can make insane transformations in any form of your life if you can wait 36 to 60 months. I mean, big time transformations. You can get a lot done in 6 months, a year, but usually you think you can get more done than you actually can, and you can get more done in 5 than you expected. So it's persistence. People, they think it's luck because they don't understand the persistence factor of it. That, yeah, things that are amazing, when someone does something that's fucking extraordinary, usually the extraordinary fucking thing they did is they just kept going when it wasn't extraordinary and nobody was impressed. That's what's amazing. That's what is exceptional. What's the exception? You just fucking didn't quit. Yeah, you get the Zuckerbergs out there, the once in a lifetime, right, who go from 0 to $1 billion with a great idea. Uber, a company that comes in and just changes the world. But there's some guy, the biggest roofing company in the world right now, probably hasn't started, right? In 20 years. I worded that wrong. The biggest roofing company on planet Earth 30 years from now probably hasn't started yet. So some guy's going to come in. He's not going to invent roofing. He's just going to fucking do it better. And it's just going to be over time. He's just going to get better and better and better. And the only thing that's exceptional is the fact that he's like, I think I can create the biggest roofing company in the world and just keep going. Even though there's already companies that are more established. And that's what makes people exceptional. You got to work hard, but you got to work smart. And consistency is the hardest part. It's not skill. You can hire skill.
Right. Yeah, I think that also goes back to the thing we keep saying, which is like no one's gonna know the work that you do, and so there's there's a reason why Zuckerberg's so famous, and because he's successful. But if he wasn't successful, no one would know about him. But he's successful. People think it's luck because it's so rare that it happens, but they don't see like the work that he had to do to get there.
Yeah.
And so, like, people only see the results. They don't see the work that, Zuck put in.
Yeah.
And because of that, they think it's luck, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think, from my own perspective, well, first of all, hold on. There's fucking luck involved.
Well, there is in everything. You don't control the laws of physics. You don't control the fact that you don't have cancer and died when you were
correct
6 years old. And so, yeah, I mean, there's luck to everything, but there's personal agency. And, every decision that he made to get there, he he's allowed to take responsibility for that.
100%. I just think to the level that it gets to, that's why money is such a stupid
maybe he's a bad
thing.
example just because he's so big, but
it was so
but anyone
fast.
who's successful.
It was so fast. To go from 0 to $1 billion doesn't make sense to do it like that. Now, he had to be smart. He had to do it. He could become a millionaire again. But Mark Cuban talked about it. He goes, I could 100% become worth $10 million again if you started me over. It wouldn't even take me that long. He's like, I can do it. He's like, I don't know if I could ever become a billionaire again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you got to fucking have some fucking luck, right place, right time. And you also have to work hard, persevere. But like Mark Zuckerberg, like he worked hard. He went to Harvard. Like he's a smart kid. But like I think there's no 27-year-old kids that have worked as hard as Mark Zuckerberg and don't have one billionth of what he has.
Yeah, right.
So, you got to get a little bit lucky. I'm not, of course you do. You have to.
Do you think that luck would come to everyone? Because you hear a lot that like, it's like luck is just like being ready for the opportunity when it arises.
Yeah.
Do you think people just don't get that opportunity sometimes though?
No
matter how ready they are?
I think the shame in it all is some people are going to get less opportunity, right? Some people die at 12, so there you go. They get less opportunity. But I think that some people don't have the confidence to play the game, whatever that game is, to put themselves in the running for the luck. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Is it luck? I mean, billionaire 27, but like, if you consistently go online and learn a skill or and meet with people who are doing a certain skill and consistently do it, at what point is it not really luck? At what point does the one thing that happens that from a super zoomed in lens can look like a ton of luck? Holy shit, I had one video go viral. But when you zoom out, you're like, well, it kind of makes sense. Like the fucking kid made fucking 18,000 hours of content. Like odds are something's gonna fucking catch. I had broken clocks right twice a day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very true, yeah.
Like, so if someone asked me, you've made some money, you've built some equity, you've created real wealth for yourself, millionaire, what the fuck that is, like, I would say, I think you'd be shocked at how not little work it was, because it was a lot of work, but it wasn't this like crazy schedule. I think you'd be shocked if you saw the schedule, but I also think you'd be shocked if we traded shoes and you climbed in my brain, how kind of hard it was, like mentally, to just like have fear and doubt and imposter syndrome and like excited sometimes, but then fearful and like struggling to go to sleep because you're scared. You want something so bad and, there's things that are out of your control and you're trying to control them. And, I still go through it. I'm just getting better at handling it now because I've gone through it.
Yeah. We're going to end with these two things. I don't even know what to call them, but they're kind of ideas, and you have to guess what they are. So the first one is called the cynicism safety blanket. What do you think that is?
Cynicism?
Cynicism safety blanket.
Cynical. I assume it has something to do with that. It's being safe from being. I don't know. I assume it's something people do to protect themselves from being judged. I don't know.
Cynicism safety blanket is basically people are cynical because it kind of provides them cover when something goes wrong.
Oh, okay. So it's like they're cynical on the offensive.
Yes.
Because I was thinking of it from the other perspective.
It's like saying, well, I'm not going to start this business because it's going to fail. Whereas, like, if you're optimistic and you try and it does fail, like, you really carry the weight of that. But
okay. Yeah.
Or maybe like if I think you're going to fail and you do, and you succeed, it's like, whatever. No one really cares. Like, you're happy. But if I say, oh, you're going to fail and you do fail, there's no risk to me at all. And yet I'm still going to be right. Like Hormozi says, the people who are, the cynics are right 99% of the time, but they're wrong the 1%, the one time that it matters. And then the other 99 should be thrown out the window. But since, we all should have a no bias, and we all do, that's why people like veer towards cynicism, because it's safe. It's safe to say like, oh, it's not going to get better. Because then you don't have to, like, you don't need the responsibility. You don't put the responsibility on yourself to like make it better. It's very easy to make things worse, but you know, if you're optimistic and you say, "Oh, well, my business is going to do well," then you kind of have that responsibility on yourself.
I know.
So that's a cynicism safety blanket. People are cynical. Yeah, I mean, we all are to a point.
I think negatively sometimes about stuff, you know, cynical towards like people that I depend on, right? Like tenants to a certain extent. Like I work with small business owners, basically. I'm just always like, I hope they fucking pay. I hope they do this. If they don't, it's like always this like plan for like a disaster, which isn't like stupid, but it's like I'm planning.
Well, that's what it is.
Rather than thinking like, no, let's address that when it happens.
Right. But that's what it is. I don't know if my tenant's going to pay, but then you're like prepared for it. But then if they do pay, there's no issue. But if you're like very optimistic that they're going to pay and they don't, it's like, ooh, that actually kind of matters.
Yeah.
So people are cynical.
But that makes me not happy.
Yes.
Because I'm always worried about it.
Oh, you want to know something crazy? This is actually crazy. You can feel the pain, physically feel the pain of a hypothetical no, but you cannot feel the pleasure from a hypothetical yes. So if you know you're going to go and ask this girl out, if you imagine her saying no to you, you physically feel the repercussions from that, even if you didn't do it. But if you imagine you going up to her, asking her out, and she says yes, you don't get the reward, like the dopamine. You don't get that reward. Your body doesn't get that reward.
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
I believe that because like I can.
No, it's true.
If I think
true.
If I think about drug withdrawal, to tie this all back in, when I think about some of those horrible, like really cold nights where you have night sweats, like I can like feel that. If I start thinking about that too much, I can never remember like the high. I can't like release the dopamine that fucking methamphetamine released. But like I can remember like how miserable it was to be up all night and think about that and start to feel like, you know?
Yeah.
So why do we do that? Is it because we're just like programmed to be negative because it helps us survive?
Probably, yeah.
I think it's a survival thing.
Yeah, it's like that, well, if I eat this berry, you can, hypothetically, if I eat this berry and I get poisoned and die, you can feel that negative effect and you're going to be like, nope. But then if you're like, oh, I can eat this berry and it's going to be good. I don't know. I'm not going to die. It's like, there's a balance there. The negative highly outweighs the reward. So maybe that's baked into us.
I know. It's like we're not like designed to be happy.
No, we're designed to survive
and reproduce.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, right?
It's fucked up.
It's pretty crazy.
And you know what's funny too? We're gonna die in 100 fucking years. Actually, significantly less than that. No one's gonna give a shit about anything you ever did in your entire life. Kind of sad.
For most people, very most people.
Oh no, all. Martin Luther King, amazing man. How often do you like think about his accomplishments? Other than,
I mean, I don't think of them very often, but everyone knows him. Everyone thinks about him. I mean, it's different because he is a national holiday, I guess. So,
I guess, but like he
but
really.
A lot of people, I don't know.
Nobody
no,
gives
but you know
a
what
fuck.
I mean. I'm talking about like 0.0000001. Like, it's not gonna be me. That's what I'm saying. but I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
like. Do you know your grandfather's grandfather?
Fuck no.
Exactly. In your family, and you still don't know him.
They're family.
And you still don't know him.
No, he don't know me.
Yep. So your grandchild's grandchild is not gonna know you.
Right.
That's pretty freeing. It's freeing, but it's also kind of sad. It's freeing because that means you can do what you want. Do what you want, and you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It is weird though. You know, when you like starting to think about it.
Yeah. I have this one. I actually skipped past this one, but this is a good one. What were you saying?
No, go ahead. Read that.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there's no bigger waste of time than doing something you hate for acceptance from people you hate.
One more time.
There's no bigger waste of time than doing something you hate for acceptance from people you hate.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
But it's that whole idea, like these people they're gonna die, and you're not gonna. You're gonna die. They're gonna die, and then in 100 years, no one's gonna think about that girl that you asked out, or that time you asked out that girl and it didn't go well. Like all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a state of being. I think not giving a fuck what other people think is a state of being. You can't think yourself into it. Like
you might have to start there though.
I am really, really close. I don't like the idea of like, I don't feel confident about like my body right now. Like I wouldn't like the idea of like walking around with my shirt off in front of a bunch of people. So I guess to a certain extent, I do care what people think to a certain extent, but I've gotten so much better about that. And I can't tell you I did anything. I think it was just part of maturing a little bit. I don't know. I remember what it was like to care constantly about what people think. It's fucking horrible.
When I think back to high school, I just...
Oh, don't even get me started on,
I mean, high school is like the breeding ground for that. But yeah, I was like, I can't believe I cared that much about what people thought. And even now, like, when I started this podcast, I was very worried. I'm like, what are people going to think? But that's why I think you got to force yourself into it at the beginning. Because I did care. And I was like... And then you know what? My first 3 podcasts sucked. And no one said anything bad about it. And like even if they did, that's the worst thing that would have happened. Like I'm not gonna die because my first 3 podcasts suck.
I know.
And like the worst thing is someone's gonna say, "Oh, your first 3 podcasts kind of sucked." And then even if that happened, I'd be like, "Okay, well, nothing really bad happened, so why do I care?"
Right.
Like people don't care about you, and that's kind of a good thing.
I mean, we all probably went to high school with people who had a really failing music career.
Yeah, possibly.
Particularly in the hip hop industry.
Rappers.
But like
I don't know, I went to Bishop Curtin. I don't think I did, but
nobody tried to be a rapper?
No.
Or put out music?
Not
some people are good. It's just it can breed a little more cringe than a podcast can. But I look back on it, I remember seeing cringe. Well, I can't remember anything.
I think mostly because like people in high school that are trying to be rappers, they're just trying to do it to be looked like they're doing it because they care about what people think about. Whereas I was doing this podcast and I had to do it regardless of the fact that I wanted people to like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I did care what people thought of me, and that almost held me back from doing this.
I would agree.
It probably did for a while, honestly.
Do you think you ever would have bought all the stuff, or do you think that was kind of like a little bit of like fate? You had the money, you had the drive. It's not about the money.
I didn't really I never thought of having a podcast. I was just
us
listening
doing
to
this
so many.
here kind of created this whole thing.
It was a theoretical before you guys started doing it.
Oh, of course. I don't mean like I played a part in it starting, but
that's
one of those weird, like everything happens for a reason.
It
moments.
was like I would love to have a podcast. That would be pretty cool. But I never would have like really cared to try.
Yeah.
Until I saw you guys, and I'm like, you know what? That actually looks really fun, and it looks like something I'd be, and maybe not good at, but something that I'd enjoy to get better at.
Yeah,
it's. I don't know,
dude. This is one of the easiest things to get good at if you really think about it.
It is. You just reps.
It's just repetition. Yeah, you don't need to be like particularly good looking to do it.
Reps and consistency.
It's one of the easy. It's a competitive like market now.
Yeah, it's a podcast for everything.
Keep getting good guests. Keep doing it. People like this shit. Who gives a fuck how many people like it? And even if, like you said, even if there's 12 people watching, how hilarious would that be if there's 12 people in here?
No, I know. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds like cringy. But
yeah,
honestly, I enjoy doing
12
this.
now. That's pretty low.
I would never do 2 hours and 9 minutes talking to anyone that I didn't enjoy talking to. Why the fuck would I do it? No, what's my time worth? What's my time worth? I'm not saying that. My time ain't worth fuck all. I just don't want to do shit I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know? I used to be like that. I don't cut my lawn. What's my time worth? Nah, I just don't like doing it. And I can't afford if I did. You know what I mean? Like, has nothing to do.
That's why I want money, bro. That's why I want money. It's not that I can't mow my lawn, bro. I just don't want it. I'd rather do other stuff.
Yeah,
it's not that my time's worth that. It's just I just don't want to, man. I just don't want to.
The more I'm in business, the more I think like sometimes like things these influencers say, not so much Hormozi, but like, what is your time worth? If I'm making $50,000 a day and I take an hour to do this, it's like, well, you're not working an hourly job.
Yeah.
Like that's not like an apples to apples debate. It's technically technically cooking is not worth my time because I can make more money going to the grocery store and doing this. Like, no. You just make a fuckload of money and it's more convenient to go to Chipotle.
Yeah,
I get
and you
it,
don't
bro.
want to.
I get it. It's not about like this math calculation. It's the math calculation is what's coming in is absolutely fucking devouring what's going out. So why not just go buy Chipotle every time?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm actually losing money by going. I mean, maybe fucking not. I don't know. Right? But if I had $57 million fucking dollars sitting in a CD at 4.8% or 5%, and it was spitting out all this money per month, no matter what I do, my time ain't worth shit. But I'm not gonna fucking go cook because I would rather
mow my lawn.
It's just so much easier to not do that.
No, it is, yeah. And then when they say that, you're like, what goes through my mind is like, okay, how about you go get Chipotle and then because you have another free hour, go make another $20,000 because that's what you're worth. Like, go do it. You can't because, I mean, yeah, technically you're, if you average out how much time you've worked and how much money you've made, like, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, like it's all like cringe when
like
I hear shit like that.
If you can save an hour of your time and work and make how much you would make in an hour, yeah, feel free, and like do whatever however you want, but yeah, I wouldn't go around saying you shouldn't work or you shouldn't cook food and make your own meals because it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
It's up to you, man.
Granted, some of those people are probably responding to people like, why do you eat out so much? And why do you do that? So they're like, well, I just think that a lot of that stuff sells. How many times I've heard that on a podcast? Well, think about what your time is worth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of annoying. It's like, figure out something that you guys want to do, get passionate about it, work towards it, fail, keep going, be persistent. You know, follow the footsteps of people who are where you want to be. Don't get caught up in the hard work and the this and the that. You know, and taking risks. I think that's a big one. Taking risks, whether it's with your feelings, your emotions. That's what a lot of this is. Mm-hmm. And money. Like, this wasn't all free for you. That's a risk.
Yeah.
You know? And then certainly if there's like real estate, there can be big money involved. Don't be afraid to take risks because that's the scary part. It's the big risk and there can be big fucking money. But what you're really risking isn't the money. Nobody cares. Money's a piece of paper you can wipe your asshole with. It really doesn't mean anything. It's the fear of not having it and what that can mean for your security. So that's what the risk is. And yeah, work hard. But at the same time, I don't even know what that really even fucking means anymore.
Just do stuff. Do stuff that helps others. Do stuff that brings value to others.
Yeah. Like David Goggins works hard, but like, what's he fucking do? He just runs.
The reason, yeah.
I'm not knocking the guy. He loves it.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not dogging him because he loves it. He loves it.
And it is like a lot of like work. Like, it's fucking hard, like what he does. And he does have like a business associated with it now, but it's just weird, like that whole like work hard, you have to work hard, you got to be the hardest working guy in the room. I just think that confuses a lot of people because then they sit there and they're like, I don't know what to do.
It's like, they're like, I am working hard. Why am I not seeing these returns? It's like, dude, it's because you're listening to these people that are saying just work harder, just work harder. There is a threshold where your body cannot work harder and you're not going to see out like other returns. You're not going to. You're doing the wrong thing. That's what I think they should aim at more.
Yeah, you see Mark Wahlberg waking up at 2 in the fucking morning. You ever seen that fucking dweeb do that?
No. You
never seen that?
I like that guy though. He's a Christian now. So.
He's a good guy. Like I don't know the man. Obviously, he's a super famous guy. But he would like wake up at 2 and like go to the gym like twice, and it's fine. I don't like knock him.
See, I don't knock it unless he knocks it. He knocks not doing that.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like, dude. All right.
I think waking up at 2 in the morning is objectively absurd.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In my opinion, which it means nothing.
My brother works at 4 in the morning, I think, so he wakes up at like 3 or something.
To go to work at 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have $400 fucking million like Mark Wahlberg.
No, yeah, no. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't wake
literally,
up, dude,
bro.
You can't get up at 4:30.
No, that's what rich people do. They just get bored and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna wake up at 2 and do whatever I want, and then like, but they,
I think it's
if it doesn't go
shtick.
well, they can go back. It's not a big deal.
I think it's part of the shtick. That's what and I could be wrong about Mark Wahlberg, but that's part of the shtick, bro. Because now I'm here fucking talking about it.
Right?
You really like getting up at 2, dude, and going to bed at 6:30 at night? What are you fucking doing? Are you really even doing it? I've seen. I know that.
Yeah, right?
I know there's some people that they wake up at like 3:30 in the morning and just like fucking like record themselves like getting up, like making coffee. Then they go back to bed.
They go back to sleep.
Yeah, it's all part of the fugazi. And some people probably do waking up at 3:30 in the morning. Getting up at 3:30, it ain't that fucking hard. It ain't that hard.
I've done it before. I've done it.
It just sucks. But like, it's not that fucking hard. You ever seen those people? If you hit the snooze button, that's the first loss of the day. You're never going to make anything. That's not true. If you can hit the snooze button 3 times, you're going to start your day 27 minutes later. But if you get up and do what you need to do to be successful, then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you go squat consistently this time, even if you hit snooze every morning, you're still going to get in better shape. People love those little things, though. It starts right there. If you hit that fucking snooze button on Monday morning, you've already lost the whole week. Buy my course, and it's like, shut the fuck up. You know? I know I'm getting like heated here because it's getting late, and feel free to cut it. But it's like, that stuff pisses me off.
No, I agree. This is what the internet needs.
Yeah, it's like you gotta get.
It's like, dude, just try. Just try. Try and do the best thing that you can. Do what you enjoy. Do it well. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Gotta cut back on the porn. Cut back on the drugs. Preferably no drugs. You know, not everybody can be successful. Not everybody wants to be successful. Thank fucking God, because imagine if there weren't people to work these jobs that we all need every single day in order to do anything. Like manufacturing this microphone and that Rodecaster Pro and this Dunkin' Donuts and the convenience store that I bought it off of and the guy who plows the driveway so I can get around and get my kids to the hospital.
Literally.
The nurses who delivered my fucking baby. And we're sitting here thinking we're better because we fucking work hard and I get up at 2. Shut the fuck up. We all, like, honestly, that shit's crazy. Money is important. It is, but like, you're not grateful for everything out there that when your fucking headlights go out, you can go to AutoZone and some guy just fucking swipes your credit card. He goes, here you go. You're that fucking ignorant. You forget that you'd have no clue what to do if that wasn't there. Honestly.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I need a cell phone charge. I need all this. People are losing it with the red pill shit online. I got sucked into that.
Yeah, I did too for a bit. I did too. And quickly I was like, yeah, there's something wrong.
Maybe I'm getting a little liberal. I don't think I am.
No.
But I used to.
No, you're just telling the truth. It is. I mean, that's what people. They just want clicks and they want people to buy their course. Yeah. I don't got a course to sell, so listen to me.
Are you tired of the 9 to 5? Are you tired of waking? It's like, yeah. How'd you know? Have you seen the new ones to get people like, if you make less than $150,000, this video's not for you?
What?
Have you seen that?
No.
It's like a way of like. Obviously targeting people who make that, but also getting people to be like, what's this secret information that my broke ass can't? It's $19.99. I can't afford that. I got $6,000 in my account. I can afford that. It's like this, because it's also like gimmicky. The guy getting out of a fucking Rolls Royce. You want to know how I bought this Rolls Royce Phantom? You want to know how I bought that yacht over there? Section 8 fucking real estate. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know. It's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You can get really wealthy off Section 8 real estate, but I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it's so annoying. These guys are making more money doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't anything wrong with that. It's hard work.
I don't know. I have a different opinion.
You buy their fucking course, and it's the most general dog shit. What you're going to want to do is, get a realtor and buy a property and figure out all the expenses and then lease it for greater than that. It's like, oh, wow. Like, no shit. I got to buy something and sell it for a profit?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thought I would sell it for the same price. Thought that would help.
You buy one property. If you have $80,000 to put down, I know my course was $2,000, and you have like 2 more left in your entire fucking bank account, but, 80 down and you can buy a property. The cash flow is $900 a month. You multiply that times 90 properties. It's like, oh, so I just need 9.8 million down, and we can fucking, it's just, it's like, and there are ways to get there. If you want to own 50 properties, it is very doable. You can't say it's impossible, but shut up when I click on, I'm trying to watch Scotty Scheffler fucking, his highlights from the Masters, and I just got this asshole in a Rolls Royce.
I'm trying to watch sketch funny moments. Chill out. Don't care. Did
you know you can own Airbnb without actually owning it and make $2,000 to $7,000 per month? It's like, shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Someone got rich selling dildos. There's people out there. Did you know that there are companies that make millions of dollars selling dildos? It's like, okay, and I don't care. Next.
All right. Can I watch my video?
What are you trying to sell me? You know? Tired of that shit. But anyway, that was pretty entertaining. I'm sure you get some good stuff from that.
I don't think we can go on. That was it. That was good.
We're done. This went on too long. Anyone who's still here is a fucking savage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to cut it to like, an hour 45-ish. 2 hours, 20 minutes is some good stuff in there.
Yeah, but dude, don't let the idea of 1 hour 45 being enough and 2 hours and 20 being too much. Says who? Your brain?
I don't think that way. I know someone who does.
Fuck him. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I'll smoke him right now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you know who it is, so.
Oh, yeah, because the most successful podcaster on the entire planet does 3-hour podcasts.
Right.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for sticking by if you have all the way till the end. And I'll see you next week.
Later.
Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy and you find yourself coming back on the regular, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss a full episode when it comes out. These are going to be coming out every week, and you don't want to miss them. There's a lot of knowledge and stuff. If you want to watch another episode, go to the left of your screen right there. You can click it. If you're watching on a TV, you're not going to be able to click it, but that's okay. So thank you again for sticking by and watching till the end, and I will see you next time.